company, but there's plenty of potential. The last few years have shown that the likes of Reduced Choice and Road to Success winning this race. Who will win this year? Well, time will tell. Innovation Girl, undefeated 3 starts to date. Innovation Girl, the daughter of Roubaitano and a Jugar mare. Brian Mayfield-Smith was in action at the
racing now. Innovation Girl jumped as well as anything over on the outside and musters pace soon after the jump to go to the lead. Yella's in second, placing down on her inside, driving up now with Orinoco. Then Civics followed to Wonder Worker. At the 550, Orinoco, Yell together. Innovation Girl just a length away. French Terror the inside, and then 3/4 of a length away. Civics pushed along, followed then by Our Webster and Wonder Worker. Coming for home, Orinoco the inside, Yell and Innovation Girls claiming them 3 deep. They're followed by French Terror and a break to Civics, and then Our Webster getting down towards the 200. Yell in the centre, put the head in front. Innovation Girl shown the whip on the outside. She's labouring to get there. Yell's about a neck in front of Innovation Girl. Now Oliver gets very busy. Yell's really giving her a race. She's just in front. Yell's 1.5 head to Innovation Girl, and 5 lengths to Orinoco from Our Webster. Close up on the inside was French Terror, Civics and Wonder Worker. Yell's got the money. Darren Gouchy's got home. Ground than anything else has probably dulled her exhilaration, Innovation Girl. Anyway, we'll keep
4 stakes, and the ratings have gone the way of Sent Home first up. So the ratings are tipping an upset with Sent Home from Northerly and Barcata, and then Chattanooga 4, 1, 9 and 6 as we hear from Fred Kersley about Northerly.
Fred, we understand there's been a little bit of an incident with Northerly.
Yes, unfortunately he was in the parade ring, bitumen surface, and an announcement came over the loudspeakers and spooked him, and he just turned quickly and slipped. Slight abrasions and shifted a front plate, but he's been replated, and the vets have said he's fine. He'll be okay.
Dead rated track.
We're warming for Northerly, aren't we, as the star from the west has arrived. Whoop! Pulled up quickly there with Damien aboard, a big smile on.
They're racing, and Barcata won the jump on the inside ahead of Mr. Murphy, Little Dozer and Chattanooga. Northerly and Sent Home are settling just behind them in a speed race early. They're followed then by a Northerly, and last of all is a Melfi. At the 800 metres in the oar, and the leader Barcata by a length, Mr. Murphy. A length to Sent Home, Chattanooga. Little Dozer over on the inside, and then Northerly, who's gone out about 4 wide to make his run up the side of the course, clear of a Mission Old Comrade and a Melfi. At the 600, and Barcata's been left alone for a long way. He leads by 3/4, Mr. Murphy. Then Chattanooga and Northerly's pushed along, making a little ground on the outside now. Then Sent Home, who's hard ridden back behind them, and next is a Mission as they corner, where Barcata railed beautifully. He leads by about 3 lengths. He slipped away on them around the home turn, Barcata. Northerly is flat as a strap behind him with Chattanooga, and they're trailed by Sent Home. Barcata at the 200 in front. He's shortening stride a little bit. He's got about 3 lengths on them. Northerly and Sent Home battling away. Barcata clear. The 3-year-olds do it again. Barcata first. Northerly a length and a half away second, hanging in badly again. Sent Home is close up on his inside with Chattanooga. Then a break to a Melfi, who's made ground. Long break behind these horses, then to Old Comrade, a Mission, Little Dozer and Mr. Murphy. Barcata all the way. Scott Seamer's done it again. He gave him a lovely breathe.
The 3-year-olds do it for the 5th straight year.
Yeah, he's been a revelation, this horse, you know, for a horse that's had a wind operation. We knew we'd get the lead today, and it panned out really well. The only risk I said to my brother coming to the corner was when he lets him down, he won't handle the ground, but he actually gapped them when they straightened, and it was all over.
Kicked at the 200, got that 3 or 4 to Michael before the race, and as you said, the only query was the ground.
Yeah, some concern. I mean, we ran him down the straight on a deteriorating dead track that was probably closer to slow, and he's a little disappointing that day, and then turned it around on the dead.
Well, broodmare influence his being. 11 career starts have now yielded 6 wins, 3 minor placings, and another Group 1 win for the Guree team.
Right through from the spring, it's just gained. I mean, you must be feeling enormous every time you go out on a horse.
Well, they're better horses to start with. You know, as soon as you get on them, they're a lot better horses. And when you're on better horses, you can ride them more confident. It's a big class from Metropolitan Brisbane to Spring Carnival and continuing down here in the autumn. And to ride Group 1 horses, it's a totally different league.
Well, you've been...
Certainly lost no fans, though, has he, Northerly? No, he's on track. That's what he does in a 1,400 metre race.
Yes, certainly does.
Michael, can I just ask you, just probably not quite sharp enough.
Randwick, where Lonro rates a mile in front. Have a look at that for a ratings margin. 27 points. Lonro from Moonflute at 5.5 lengths on that. The only one that doesn't figure in the ratings in this, some good ones, but none better than this grand little fella. We go through his last 5 starts. He's won the Royal Sovereign, then the Caulfield Guineas, the Stan Fox, the Heritage and the Ming Dynasty. Will he add another big race to his lineup? Here's Ian Craig.
Yes, thanks, Lonro, looking for his 7th. Racing in the Hobartville, and the favourite Lonro bounced out in front. Another Warrior sitting at its girth, and in fact it looks as though another Warrior might go up and join and nose the Moonflute. No change whatsoever as they race within the 600 marker now. And the pilot, another Warrior for Glenn Collis, 3/4 of a length on Lonro. Third posse, and tagging Lonro is Athens, and Moonflute over on the inside of Checkered Past as they wheel for home in the Hobartville. And another Warrior straightens up a half length on Lonro, who canters up to another Warrior to put pay to him seemingly, and then comes Athens, followed by Moonflute and Checkered Past. Rod Quinn riding quietly on Lonro. The New Zealander Athens on the outside gets within a half length of Lonro, but Quinn very confident on Lonro, who accelerates now. He's doing it with ease, he's doing it with style, and this outstanding colt wins the Hobartville easily, Lonro, and never out of second gear. Lonro beat Athens, third posse to Moonflute from another Warrior and Checkered Past. Well, there's just no saying how good he is. I mean, he didn't beat much there, but he just seems to do it so easily, doesn't he? 3:30, exacta.
In the week when the Hawk stable lost the Viscount, but we'll talk more about that later. But here he is, just cruising to the lead, and really Rod Quinn hasn't even gone to him at this stage and asked him for the effort. Now he asks him for the effort, and he just extends away, Wayne.
Richard, with this horse too, I know we give him a smack around the backside, he'd find something too. I think if the other horse would have come up and challenged him, he's a pretty smart horse, Athens too.
Yeah.
Did run second in the New Zealand Derby, but he's just a class above him, Lonro. Difference between him and Octagonal, you could put him, I made the statement yesterday, you could put him in against an ordinary field, and you'd have to pull the whip to get him past him. He'd beat them, then you put him against the best horses in the land and do the same thing, where Lonro, he can seem to do it just under hands and heels riding. He sort of just knows where the winning post is.
And just before we move on, Lonro was the subject of a massive plunge from the elusive and mysterious sports bag punter who arrived on the course yesterday with $70,000 worth of cash in a sports bag.
I knew you'd turn up, Richard.
And proceeded to have it all on Lonro. So there you are, Keith. It's we've got another one of these firebrand punters in Sydney.
Well, there was no risk in the run, was there? 7 straight now. He's unbeaten as a 3-year-old. He has 56 kilos in the Doncaster Handicap. Look at the ease that he beats his rivals with in this race, but he has only 2 kilos less than Sunline, the winner of $8 million in the Doncaster. That's going to test him if he runs, isn't it?
Yes, and we'll talk about the
Referral and Fairway, 9, 1, 4 and 2. Now the market looks this way. Similar odds nationally, tie the knot. Fairway first up after the long break is at good odds, New South Wales. Down to Referral. Best of the value there is Super Tab at this stage. El Mirada comes into $11. Got a good record of this circuit. Sale of Century, Rod Quinn on board, 31s. Nanny Maroon, 630. Robert Thompson for Paul Engelbrecht, and that horse has a big fan club up in the Hunter. Ha Ha, $2.20. Scott Seamer after...
This is a most interesting race, isn't it? Ha Ha, the pronounced favourite on Tab Limited at 240 and 140, around about the same here on track. Tie the Knot has been the best back to beat at number 1. Sitting in the Apollo Stakes, and Freemason drops out last in company with Sale of Century, and Ha Ha, ridden hard by Cassidy, is going to lead, but there's Fairway, by golly. He's showing a great turn of speed, first up for such a long time, and Fairway, I'd say opening up now 3/4 of a length on Ha Ha. 2.5 wide from Freemason, and last out a conspicuous last Sale of Century coming to the side. And at the 800 the leader is Fairway, about a length on Ha Ha, 2.5 to Huge Demand. It's a muddling run race from El Mirada, Referral, Nanny Maroon very wide out from Tie the Knot. On the fence is Freemason and 2 lengths Sale of Century. Fairway leads for Darren Beatman, 500 to go. 3/4 of a length the favourite, Ha Ha, 2.5 Huge Demand. Wider out is El Mirada from Referral, Tie the Knot, Nanny Maroon in from Freemason and Sail of Century. Homeward bound in the Apollo. And Ha Ha on the outside does better than Fairway. El Marada and Huge Demand are running good races, and Tie the Knot is not far away in need of a run. Jimmy Cassidy goes for the favourite Ha Ha, and the 3-year-old filly, she responds. She raced away. Oh, isn't she great? Ha Ha put 3 El Marada. Tie the Knot getting home late, but that's a breeze for Ha Ha. Ha Ha wins the Apollo from either El Marada or Tie the Knot, and then Huge Demand. Sail of Century, Freemason, Nanny Maroon Referral, and Fairway simply ran out of condition and finished last. Oh, what about that acceleration over the last 100 metres? Oh, that's the Ha Ha we know. Was 248.90. Quinella 13.40. Exacta 19.10.
For weeks, mate. She's been treated for whatever was wrong with her, and you know, clearly she's recovered from the upset, and this is the real Ha Ha.
Richard, just watch the last 50 metres of Tie the Knot's run.
Yeah, excellent run. And by the way, just crossing the line there is Fairway, probably 20 lengths away, rated the equal of Sunline over 1,600 metres by the handicapper in the Doncaster. So more about that later.
Yes. John? Doncaster. Northerly with 60.5, Sunline on 58, with Fairway 58, Shogun Lodge also 58. We've got an interview with Bob Thompson as well. Universal Prince on 57.5, and then Lonro on 56, within 2 kilos of Sunline, and then Crawl 54, Royal Code, Magic Albert, Ha Ha on 51.5. Gee, it's going to be hard.
How did you come to the decision with Sunline 58 kilos? She received 57.5 when she ran second in the race 2 years ago, and since then she's won 2 Cox Plates and also the Hong Kong Mile.
Probably very pertinent point of she'd beaten in the year 2000 behind Higher, carrying 2 above weight for age. She was also beaten in the Epsom carrying 1.5 above weight for age. This year the weight allocated is 2.5 above weight for age. I think in this instance, Matthew, you've got to really look at the horse's overall form at the Randwick Mile. She's been beaten 4 occasions from 7 starts, and also she's never carried more than 56.5 kilos to victory against the Open Company horses.
Is there any merit at all? What about this one? Sunline and Fairway received the same weight when Fairway hasn't had a run for about 1.5 years due to injury.
Probably well, but once again, the peak performance of Fairway in the spring of 2000 was his victory over Sunline in the Turnbull Stakes. Since then, he did run third, an unlucky third in the Caulfield Cup, and hasn't raced since that date. I allocated 58 kilos to him last year, and I was quite comfortable to leave him at that similar rating for this year's race.
Interesting. What do you make?
I can't see any way you can possibly justify that. We saw Fairway run tail off last. Now, probably Mark didn't know that when he made that statement yesterday, hadn't run the race, but how can you rate a horse the equal of Sunline over 1,600 metres, who's had 1 victory over in a 2,000 metre Group 2 at Flemington 18 months ago, hasn't raced since. She's won, God knows how much money she's won in the ensuing period that he's been standing in a paddock, and he has to carry the same weight as her. I think the bulk of the handicapping, no one's got a problem with, because the bulk of it, except for her weight. The field relative to each runner to every other runner, no problem, except the field relative to Sunline, where they think Sunline should have had at least another couple of kilos.
Well, Lonro, within 2 kilos, within 2 kilos.
Well, Lonro's won 1 Group 1, you know, 1 Group 1 race, and that was against 3-year-olds. Sunline has taken all before her. I mean, there's been no greater mare in the history of racing, possibly, and yet she still can't earn the top weight.
I know they wouldn't intentionally let her...
Agalia, Miss Powerbird and La Lagoon. Gee, this is a good lineup in the next race. The market looks this way as we await the winning time to be confirmed at Eagle Farm. Cheltenham's page 1 of betting, Susie Gray, $5.50. And from there we go across the rides, the ratings top pick, which is called Regal Kiss, and it goes around in the committed. There was some excuses, and she had to trial to the satisfaction of stewards after that Light Fingers run. The Swettenham Stud Stakes, not too far away at Cheltenham. It's the 6th race on the card at Group 2 status, and a bit more than $250,000 is up for
From the inside, Lady Wild stood there and missed it. First away, Regal Kiss with Cosmic Strike, Rajar Lane and True Jewels, a line of 4. And Shea Spice is whizzing over from the outside to make a line of 5. Here goes Em's Powerbird, Hamster Jazz. Then Susie Gray, and last of all is Lady Belvedere. 800 metres to go, and Hamster Jazz rather going to the lead. Empress Waltz a length in front. Second is Shea Spice, third Agalia. Fourth place just behind them, Rajar Lane, and then came True Jewels. Gee, Regal Kiss has got buried back on the rails from La Lagoon, Cosmic Strike, and then Miss Powerbird wider out. Holder's got to get busy on this favourite, Regal Kiss. She's behind Traffic. True Jewels, the Blue Diamond winner, in front of her. Then Lady Wild and taken to the outside, Susie Gray. Around the turn, the leader is Empress Waltz, being challenged by Agalia, Shea Spice. Then on the outside, coming at them strongly, Rajar Lane. Regal Kiss into the clear, bumping with La Lagoon, and Susie Gray down the outside. Susie Gray's raced up and taken the lead. Regal Kiss is trying to run her down, but that's a forlorn task. Susie Gray wins the Swettenham Stud Stakes well. Susie Gray by a length and a half. I think Regal Kiss held second. Most unlucky. Look at one of the Perth runners flying. Lady Belvedere got third wide out, in fact, in a photo for second, and Humaline ran on. Then Agalia followed home by True Jewels, La Lagoon from Miss Powerbird. Then Lady Wild, Shea Spice, Hamster Jazz, Empress Waltz. Cosmic Strike pulled up well behind the others. Susie Gray, with his powerhouse finish, maintains an amazing record that Paul Gatt has for the Alan Bailey stable. He's had 4 rides for the stable for 4 wins. 2 of them on this mare and 2 on Point Danger. Second's a lot closer than it looks. Flourish of the whip after the line today. 5-12-2-1 on the Swettenham.
Okay.
Biggest win?
It's the biggest win to date. Hopefully she'll go up another column, Group 1. Hopefully next start in the Rosemount Classic at Rosehill.
It was a beautiful ride by Paul Gatt, I must say. Do you agree?
He does. He rides the filly very well, but at the same time, like, he rides every horse and gives it all horses he rides a chance to win. So
from the spill,
rides a chance to win. So
from the spill, he'd have the ability to sprint well fresh.
Yeah, Atlantis is the star of the stable, and he did win an Open over 1,000 first up. Not the quality of this race, but I'm just not sure if he's not quite ready or not, but you never know with that horse. He's such an honest horse. He's got a chance of winning.
Mark, which is your best chance today?
Just quickly, the favourites. 5 of the past 8 winners of this race have been favourites. That might tell us a tale.
Well, I certainly hope the statistics stand up, Andrew, and as we still have got a little bit of time, one horse that I...
It's a big prize. 750,000. 487,500 to the winner. Returned to a mile last year after being run over the 2,000 metres for 3 years when Gold Guru, Dignity Dancer and Pins took it out. But back to this distance gives horses a chance to go from here and then go into the Australian Cup if their trainers so desire. Guineas. Zarek jumped well, dashed for cash, immediately headed him, and Pure Theatre got out fast, and Gordo got away very quickly. He's right on the pace today. In behind them is Tuscanos, and going forward, All Courage on the outside. No pace from Ustinov, his last, and Royal Code is second last. Dash for Cash led narrowly, but Pure Theatre wants it and charges to him. 2 or 3 lengths away, Royal Code and Ustinov behind him. Passing the 1,000 metres, Pure Theatre by a length and a half. All Carriages up to second, a length away, Dash for Cash. He gets a beautiful trail third, the inside. Right behind him is Gordo, and then Prince of War the outside, a length and a half behind these. Then came Tuscanos on the inside, and then Tarkula Midnight. 2 to Pentastic, Zarek hard ridden the inside. Royal Code is next, and Ustinov being patiently ridden, still last as they cornered. Where it's Pure Theatre now being joined by Prince of War at the top of the straight. All Carriage next, and then Gordo. Dash for Cash getting away from the rail, trying to get into the clear. Now he's got plenty of room to mount his challenge, and out wider. Royal Code went to the extreme outside, but Boss dropped his whip, and on his inside is Pentastic there, right across the track. Inside the 300 metres, Dash for Cash hit the front. Gordo after him, and Royal Code right out wide, coming hard. Dash for Cash in front. Royal Code at the 100, and then Tuscanos the rail. Dash for Cash in front of Royal Code. He's holding him. Dash for Cash wins it. Royal Code second. Ustinov from last grab third, just in front of Tuscanos, Gordo, and then Zarek, who came again, followed by Pentastic, and back behind them to finish Pure Theatre, who weakened, and so did All Courage, followed by Tarkula Midnight and Prince of War last in. The winner is Dash for Cash, Scott Seamer.
And he got off the rails.
Yeah, perfect ride from a good barrier. The good barrier probably won it for him, Andrew, but he's a pretty bloody good horse, and he finds at the end. And if he'd had to find a half a length more, I think he probably could have too.
Yeah, the horse came at him raw, okay? Glenn Boss, you were pretty strong Dubai, but now Doncaster is probably more the favourite?
Yeah, I think so. He'd be an ideal Doncaster horse. We'll look at the futurity in a fortnight and go from there to the Doncaster, Andrew.
Well done to you, Rick. Thanks, mate. Just before I come back to you, Brendan, we've got all the owners. What about a chip?
Yeah, marvellous, and it cannot be understated the incredible feats of this man in the saddle. His name is Scott Seamer. Yesterday he rode Barcata to win a Group 1. Today he salutes with yet another Group 1. Add to that a Melbourne Cup, a Caulfield Cup, a McKinnon, an Auckland Cup, a New Zealand Cup, Emerald Dream in the International Stud Stakes Saturday week ago, and yet again Scott Seamer is in the winner's circle. Top 8 in
First favourite, what does that make you think? Yeah, it doesn't, you know, it looks a little bit better, you know, just out a little bit, but apart from that, you know, it looks good. Noirceur, good performance last start, looks suited. It does, it'll get back in the field and it'll be stormy.
On track, it's a wide betting race. Exaggerate looks like being the narrow favourite ahead of Grey Song and Don Eduardo. Now Foxborough's coming up. Exaggerate winning the start slightly on the inside ahead of Residencia and away quickly in the early stages. Leather Lane, and Foxborough shows some dash today up fourth. In behind them, Telford racing outside Don Eduardo, and Grey Song is 3 deep and last of all. Exaggerate, Grey Song, Telford and Don Eduardo attacked onto them. Up the side nearing the 600, Leather Lane led Foxborough. Exaggerate, Grey Song's been wide. Residencia back 50 inside now in a bunching field, and Don Eduardo had joined Telford as they came up towards the turn. Leather Lane from Foxborough. Grey Song running off the track on one rein. He's hanging badly. Exaggerate's running on, and so is Don Eduardo as they come around the home turn. Leather Lane narrowly from Exaggerate. Don Eduardo. Telford trying to push into the clear, but he's pocketed away with the Don Eduardo keeping in there. Leather Lane on the inside, narrowly inside the 200. Exaggerate and Don Eduardo after him. 100 to go now. Don Eduardo perhaps staying the better. Grabs the lead, draws clear, and from last it's Don Eduardo beating Leather Lane by a length and a nose to Exaggerate. Then came Telford, who didn't have much luck in the straight, followed by Residencia, dropping out second last, Foxborough, and Grey Song, who hung badly at the turn last in. The Don has taken out the Schweppes Cup in a fine staying performance, 370. Yes, he's got a lot of potential. He's got a long way to go to repay the purchase price, of course, of well over 3 million New Zealand. I think it's makes it around 2.8 Aussie. Long way to go to repay, but the bloke who put his hand in his pocket's got plenty. And you just get the feeling now that he's being aimed specifically at the Derby. It could be a big day for Mr. Kowenko.
Interesting there.
I've got to say, it's a huge number to pay for a horse, and the pressure of training it. And this horse is a bit of a kid. He's a bit of a fool, this horse. He wants to drop off the bit and doesn't want to concentrate during his races, and Damien says you've got to slap him up and keep him interested. But he ran home his last 600 metres, only about a half a second slower than the Oakley Plate here in a slowly run 1600 metre race. So he's really got the goods when he decides to put it together. And you can see on the line there, he's pricking his ears, he's half having a look at the crowd. He's really not fully matured yet, and when he does, I think he's a pretty fair horse, and obviously Lee thinks he is, because he's going to set a fairly stiff campaign for him in Sydney.
Alf Matthews speaks now with Darren Gauci.
The upcoming event, Darren, you ride Limerick Lady. It's racing very well. Has to be some sort of chance. More importantly, I apologise for getting my distances confused.
Alf, consider yourself completely forgiven. Worse things could happen.
Well, folks, moved in. Set to go. Light flashes. Racing. Good start at the 1400. Fashion Flame soon after the jump, though. Dropped Actor last. And Hula Wonders back there with her. Noble Glow, Mighty Fine. Away fast, Limerick Lady. Also Lady Marion looking for the lead. And Transparent Lover, a great tussle in the early stages. But Lady Marion's cut them off and led. In flame at the 700 metres, and the leader is Lady Marion, a neck transparent lover. Wonder Amandine third, Limerick Lady fourth, and they're followed by Mighty Fine. Behind these, Bell Princess wider out from Noble Glow. Macarova improving between horses, and then Showtime Lass ridden along, followed by Miss Powerbird. Spurn a long way back on the inside, and then Hula Wonder, Noirseer and Fashion Flame. Lady Marion turned the corner narrowly in front of Transparent Lover and Amandine. Mighty Fine pulled to the outside, and then Limerick Lady. Macarova's weaving through, and Miss Powerbird is coming down the outside. Transparent Lover moved up at the 200, hit the front to Lady Marion. Miss Powerbird, and Spurn is coming with Macarova. Spurn is after Transparent Lover and Miss Powerbird. Spurn in the middle has hit the front to Transparent Lover. Spurn has got up to beat Transparent Lover. Miss Powerbird third, close up Macarova. They're trailed by Bell Princess, Hula Wonder, and then came Lady Marion, Noble Glow, Mighty Fine, Fashion Flame out wider, followed by Noirseer, Limerick Lady dropping in. Noirseer, Limerick Lady dropping in. 58.50.
That Group 3 Mannerism Stakes at Caulfield, 5:21 ahead of Brief Embrace, Pillaging and Bardago. The market on this year's edition of the Blue Diamond: Bel Esprit $160, Cool Trent Scott Seamer's Mount $13, Pillaging $780, Tom Carews $118, Coupe $42, Took a Chance $40, and but to the eternal credit of the connections, he's still there, and so he should be, because he's put out. Now, here is Wayne Smoky Treloar. I don't know his age, but he must be giving 50 a nudge. He's been around for a long time, certainly late 40s, but...
Another attempt being made with him to come up into the line. He just drops his head when he gets close to the gates. He did this in the... Racing, and Bel Esprit jumped well, so did Pillaging. Jackass was slow to move out of the stalls. Coo got out fast. Spa Power away very quickly, and so was Bardigo as they settle down now. They've covered 200 metres. Spa Power from an outside barrier leads. Bel Esprit pushes up. Coo goes with them in the centre, and they're followed by Bardigo. Brief Embrace settling fifth at the 800. Wonder Pillaging followed by Sailor Reeve, and they're followed by Step Ahead out wider around Delago Brom. 2 lengths then to Tackas, Presumed Innocent, well back as Cool Trent and Tom Carews, and Took a Chance last at the 550, and Bel Esprit had sped away with a 2.5 length lead now before the turn. Spa Power struggling away in second placing. Brief Embrace, Bardigo come with runs. Off the track, Step Ahead is running on as they caught it, and Pillaging took the shortcut on the rail. Bel Esprit for home, led by 3 lengths to Brief Embrace to Philly giving chase. Pillaging is running on. Treloar's gone for the whip on Bel Esprit. 3 lengths clear. Brief Embrace trying very hard, and Pillaging the inside, and they're well clear to the rest of them. Brief Embrace is flat. He's a length and a half in front. Brief Embrace can't get there. Bel Esprit holding on, and Bel Esprit has won it. He's got there by a neck. Bel Esprit's there from Brief Embrace and Pillaging. Then came Delago Brom, and they're followed by, back behind them were Coo, and then Tackas making ground the inside from Sailor Reeve, Cool Trent, and then Presumed Innocent. Then came Tom Carews, Took a Chance as well back, and so too is Step Ahead and Bardigo with Spa Power last of all. The favourites won. Bel Esprit was very tight in the last 100, but he's got home. Number one.
Well, he's obviously... I'll say it is, and that was Mr. K.D. Stern, one of the part owners of Bel Esprit. And this is one of the fairy tale stories of the turf, because I think this horse cost only $9,000 as a yearling, because he was a little imperfect in one of his front legs. I'm just not sure what that imperfection was, but it was enough to turn most potential buyers away. But trainer John Simons was of the opinion it would not come against him, and they picked him up for $9,000. He's just won $1 million race. To Doomben.
Before the race, first of all.
Oh, really, I was pretty relaxed before the race. I know that he was playing up a bit over there, but I knew once they got hold of him and got behind him, he'd actually go in. So I wasn't really panicking that much. You know, I know that he shouldn't do that, and unfortunately, he put on a bit of a show today, but, well, it's there now.
Okay, through the race, he jumped to the lead, sort of had Spa Power on the outside. Take it through that.
Yeah, well, we decided that we were going to go for it. Everyone talked about putting pressure on him. We thought we would put the pressure to them. We knew that we'd be left sitting pretty for, you know, someone like Brief Embrace to come at us. But we thought if we could just get up a good enough lead at the top of the straight like he did, we thought we could hold on. We actually watched Ranch's tape yesterday, and that's how he won the race. We thought, well, you know, we'll go out there and do the same thing.
What about the last 100?
No, I wasn't. I know she was coming at him, but, you know, watching it on the big screen there now, you know, she's going to get there, but she was never going to get there. So I was pretty relaxed.
The rap has been on this horse right from day one. It's a fairy tale, really, and you can sense that in the crowd.
Yeah, that's right. The crowd's just super, you know. You expect a reception like that of the Caulfield Cup or Melbourne Cup, you know. It's just super. It's just a great feeling that, you know, I guess if there's any pressure, that's where it comes from, the expectations of everybody else rather than yourself. You know, like we thought we had
the post come up when it did. Shadow. It seemed like about 3 furlongs the last 100 yards.
When was the last time you were on a horse that was capable of winning a Group 1, do you reckon, Smokey?
Well, probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That was my last Group 1 win.
Any risk of giving yourself whiplash with that action you've got there, Smokey, with the head pumping up and down?
I think the last time it shook like that was when I won the Caulfield Cup, I think.
Yeah.
Wayne, yesterday there was some concern.
Odds on pulp, first time.
Owners. David Cox, one of our biggest bookmakers. This is his very first racehorse. But the highest profile of them all, the Essendon coach, Kevin Sheedy.
Yeah, it was bad luck that footy fell on the same day, and his main priority is football.
And here he is.
He's watching this on the big screen.
Yeah.
If you can see Kevin Sheedy sitting in the box, he's watching on the big screen over the other side of the football ground, and when the horse hits the line, Kevin says, good. Very good. Now, if you have a look at Kevin's reserved attitude, he's just touching his chin there, and here's John Simons as the horse goes to the line. This is the difference between a bloke who makes his living out of the horse winning and a bloke who makes his living out of Essendon winning, right? And as he goes to the line, Johnny Simons, he's just about to go off. There he is. And well, he should. It's a huge thrill for a guy winning his, I believe it's his first Group 1, and you know, what a great one to win, $1 million race. So, John Simons, you can understand it. You'd think Kevin he'd have made it really interesting with the winner, which therefore puts the Sydney form, Schwarzeer. You have to put him as favourite now, I guess, for the Golden Slipper. And maybe Pillaging and Schwarzeer are right up there with the best of them. Maybe Schwarzeer is the best one, because it seems to have weakened off a little bit, if you know, except for horses that we haven't seen a lot of, like Callaway Gal.
Yes, Callaway Gal, Queenslanders.
So.
Yeah. Of Les Bridges, Micah's Pride, and you know, she'd be very hard to beat.
You're riding her on Wednesday?
Yeah, good one to come back on.
Good, and you'll renew your...
If people must be telling them in the eyes and you don't know where you are.
Yeah.
They can whack you.
Yes, and if a horse is prone to doing that, it's up to the jockey to...
They're often racing. Caught them well with Tally Thunder dropping out soon after the jump. Woodweener are away fast on the inside with Born Priceless. Elegant Fashion got out nicely, and Lilo Lil's up there. Going on Gold Lottie from a wide draw, and Tintan Bell sneaks through along the inside just behind the leading pack. Out of half to Gold Lottie. In behind them now third is Woodweener. Elegant Fashion is a lot more prominent today. She's up fourth on the outside. Being followed about a half length away then to Born Priceless, one miss precisely. Tintan Bell now midfield on the inside, then Moon Dragon Periphery, followed by Loquacious and then Tally Thunder and Carla Keys. 10 from the leader, 600 to go. Lilo Lil by a neck Gold Lottie, one Elegant Fashion Woodweener. Born Priceless fifth and then Miss Precisely. Periphery making ground from Tintan Bell. Moon Dragon is being pushed along at this point and needs to get a burst on as they swing the corner. Carla Keys pulls out as they enter the straight, and it's Lilo Lil from Gold Lottie throwing down the challenge, and then Elegant Fashion easing over her heels, and she's coming with a determined finish. Woodweener trying to get through, and then came Carla Keys. It's Lilo Lil tackled by Elegant Fashion at the 100. Elegant Fashion's going home the best. She's rolling about a little, got the head clear though, and Elegant Fashion a neck to Lilo Lil. Moon Dragon, I think, might grab third. Carla Keys is up there with Tintan Bell, Gold Lottie and Woodweener over on the rails. And they were clear then to Tally Thunder, and further back was Periphery, trailed in by Loquacious, and then Born Priceless and Miss Precisely last of all.
Got good first up form in the past. Didn't parade all that well. No, George.
She's back there in the blue sleeves, green colours and white cap, weaving away between horses. You can see her there just starting to weave about midfield. But Damien probably was, you know, 100% by now. But I don't know if he was early in the race. But it certainly was a good run, and she'll be very hard to beat at her next run, I would think.
Yeah. Keith?
Yeah, well again, raced in a forward position. He seemed to, when I got across last start and brought him back underneath me, he sprinted really well, so with a bit of luck there's some speed in the race, and he sits just off the speed so that he can finish the race off, and I think the horse should improve quite considerably on his last run.
Coming up now, the Oakley Plate. You've been having a peep at that as Travis Creek was talking, and this time, so it may well happen again. $7.50 Intelligent Star, $10 for Century Kid. As they move up into line, over to Chong Tong, 4.40, and Fair Alert been within his grasp. I wonder if this will be the one, because he'll be sitting back off the pace and getting home very strong.
Racing, Chong Chong looked a little slow to move, and away slowly also Toledo down on the inside, and Fair Embrace, Straight Ace both began very quickly. Lontano at 8/8, Fair Alert away very fast. Sports not far away from them. Century Kid and Intelligent Star drive through on the inside. They were followed by Slalom, Mystique out wide, Point Danger, and they're trailed then by Suit on the inside, and then Siddirka. Chong Chong a long way back, so is Toledo. 2 or 3 lengths to Blackbean, Old Comrade, and higher as last as they came to the corner, where Fair Embrace, the filly, had crossed over from an outside gate, and she'll lead around the turn from Fair Alert. Lontano wide out, Intelligent Star behind them, and they're followed by Sports and 8/8, and then Point Danger, Mystique coming wide as they swing the corner, and it's Fair Embrace getting away from the rail. Intelligent Star through on the inside, followed by Lontano. Mystique is coming home fairly well down the outside. Mystique after Fair Embrace. Mystique hit the lead. Here comes Siddirka. Siddirka's flashing home on the outside. He's charged home, and Siddirka's won it from Mystique. Straight Ace grabs third and nose to Point Danger at Old Comrade. He came home well, then 8/8, followed in by Suit. Chong Chong higher from last, and then came Blackbean. Back behind them Lontano, and then Slalom. Fair Embrace folded up the last little bit. Next in Toledo, Intelligent Star, Century Kid, and they were trailed then by Sports, who's well back, and last in Fair Alert. Stand by for number completing the Salinger and Oakley Plate double from the spring to the autumn, and in vastly different circumstances. Number 5, Siddirka, coming from well back. He led them a merry dance in the Salinger, but he's come from well back and stormed home to win today in 1 minute 2.58 seconds. Number 5, Siddirka, Nash Rawilla first. Number 9, 3 in the Group 1 sprint this afternoon. 44.23 for the last 400 is...
We were in a bit of strife early. The horse, as you know, normally shows tremendous speed and didn't jump real well, and sort of half slipped and slide leaving the gates. He's the sort of horse, if you go and move on him, you're just going to fire him up. He's an over race, and you end up having a terrible ride on him. So I just sat quiet as a church mouse and pretty much sat on him till the 300 and waited till I could show him a bit of daylight, and he just exploded.
Yeah, good on begin was Higher. Stewards reported that Higher had his head towards the rear of the stalls. He missed the start 4 lengths. There was a prolonged inquiry as to whether he was got a fair start. That's him last in the picture. But he's a swooping Siddirka, giving Brian Mayfield Smith yet another Group 1 win, and a big one too.
Keith, not many horses have completed the Salinger Oakley Plate double. In fact, he was the first horse yesterday to do so in more than 30 years. Now he's going on to the Newmarket, and there is some suggestion that that could be his career last.
Yeah, I think it would be. Plans, Joe, are for Siddirka to stand at stud in New Zealand.
Yes, and you saw a couple of runners on there in Chong Tong, Old Comrade, who was a great run, and Blackbean as well. Chong Tong started favourite. He missed the start about 2 lengths. It was unfortunate because an 1100 metre Oakley Plate, you really can't afford to miss the start. He was 17th at the 400 metre mark and ran on okay and ran 6th. So Chong Tong was a pretty good run. He's going to head to the Newmarket now because he is a great straight horse. And from then on...
He's been with from day one, as has Smoky Treloar. And what a proud moment for this veteran jockey. He seems to have been around forever, Wayne Treloar. He always, to the days when he was winning derbies on fillies like Trish Stark. He rode a lot of good horse stakes. Can the horse on your screen right now make racing history by becoming the first horse to win 4 or the same Group 1 race on 4 consecutive occasions? We're about to find out. Here's Ian at Warwick Farm.
Ryder John, thank you, as our home audience is with us now. Tie the Knot goes into line. Bernadette Cooper riding Diamond. And we're waiting for Gillespie, the Sydney Cup favourites. And resuming today, and Golden Fawn. previous race. Bounced out in front. Dress Circle got out well, and so too did Diamond. Not far away as Moon Flute as they settle down. 2.5 Tie the Knot. Then Universal Prince. Passed by Gillespie. Freemason next to last in the couple. And Diamond leads the way narrowly over Dress Circle. Third is Golden Fawn. 4 lengths Gillespie around the 3-year-old filly Moon Flute. Freemason is on the outside of Tie the Knot. Reenact is second last, and ahead on his inside is Universal Prince. They've covered halfway in the Chipping Norton, and Brian York takes Dress Circle to the lead from Diamond. Golden Fawn is third. About 3.5 to 4 lengths Gillespie, followed by Moon Flute, then Freemason. A length to Tie the Knot and a couple of lengths to Universal Prince in company with Reenact. They're racing along the side now and coming down to approach the corner. And Dress Circle leads the way from Golden Fawn, Diamond, Gillespie, Moon Flute, Freemason. Tie the Knot over on the inside of Freemason. He needs a run. Universal Prince switches to the outside. Tie the Knot's into the clear now as they straighten. Dress Circle joined by Golden Fawn. Here's Tie the Knot. He's lengthening stride. He's coming with great guns at the 150, and Tie the Knot raced away. Universal Prince late, but Tie the Knot, the grand old campaigner, he makes racing history. 4 successive Chipping Norton Stakes. Tie the Knot beat Freemason and Universal Prince from Dress Circle. Golden Fawn, Moon Flute, followed up by Gillespie, Diamond, and tailed right off was Reenact. You beauty, Tie the Knot. Successive Chipping Norton Stakes. Patrick Payne aboard this wonderful old horse, 7 years of age, starts 6:060, win 21, 9 seconds, 8 thirds. He's now won, quick calculation, 6,182,000 and 4 successive Chipping Norton Stakes.
We had them covered, and just, as always, a great thrill and a great sense of relief.
Perhaps they should rename this race.
I hope they do, yeah.
Good on you, Guy.
Thanks.
Guy Walter, remarkably calm after Tie the Knot wins his 4th consecutive Chipping Norton Stakes. And here he is returning.
Loaded at the 100, the champ raced to the front. Referrals running on with Doncaster, but Tie the Knot, what a great champion. 11 Group 1s and he wins his 3rd Norton Stakes. It's Tie the Knot in front of Lee. Staging's had the last drop at them. Adams running on. Adams coming back at Tie the Knot, but this will be Group win number 8 for Tie the Knot. He's a class above them and he kills them. But Tie the Knot confirms his Sydney Cup favouritism. Tie the Knot charges away and wins by 5 lengths. Forgotten Hero second.
The very much loved Tie the Knot, making it 4 successive Chipping Norton Stakes yesterday at...
Yes, it was just an amazing day yesterday. I think probably nearly the most emotional day we've had with Tie the Knot, I think, because it meant so much winning 4 successive Chipping Nortons at Warwick Farm on his home track.
On his home track, yeah. Sandy, the thing that...
Had him covered in 2 or 3 steps.
Sandy, what a day it will be in the Ranvet, the 9th of March, because Tie the Knot then getting the chance to equal Kingston Town's record of 13 Group 1 wins, and also get within one of the King for wins in Sydney. He's won 20, Kingston Town 22. That will match yesterday, surely.
Yes, Keith, I'm certain it will if he can do it, but it's going to be the Ranvet will be a very competitive race, as it always is.
Park, this is the Liverpool City Cup. Top rater ahead of Foire, Doncaster and Let's Compromise. Now the markets. Number 1, Final Fantasy 24, Bomber Bill $10, Sir Clive 16, Foire $4.60 and Phoenix Park $4.10. Doncaster 16, Defier $9.10, Maitland Gull $7.40. Over to Shags, a scratching, Juggling Time 22, Scratch 11.
Phoenix Park has been crunched late. And Phoenix Park is the firm favourite over Fawadi. Interestingly, with Fawadi, racing in the Liverpool City Cup, and a nice start. Bomber Bill from the outside got the best of it. Let's Compromise out well. So was Maitland Gold, and a couple of lengths Juggling Time, Fawadi, Trencher, Phoenix Park. And then Lord Kefalonia, followed by Sir Clive. And Bomber Bill from the wide alley across onto the rails to lead 3/4 of a length. Maitland Gold, 3rd for Wadi, 4th Let's Compromise, and then comes Phoenix Park, Juggling Time. A length further back is at this particular stage Sir Clive over Trencher, then Cosmic Rays, Lord Kefalonia, followed by Final Fantasy, and then comes Defar Doncaster. An absolute and a compact field is Knickerbocker Kid, the Victorian. Bomber Bill is the leader, and homeward bound Bomber Bill about 3/4 for Wadi, throwing out the challenge. Maitland Gold third and fourth the favourite Phoenix Park, and then Sir Clive and Let's Compromise down past the 200, and Bomber Billy's giving a great sight. Bomber Bill a length on Maitland Gold, late on the outside is Cosmic Race, but it's Bomber Bill all the way, and Bomber Bill wins it. Defire flew for second, Maitland Gold third, then Cosmic Race, Trench and Knickerbocker Kid juggling time, Fawadi Final Fantasy, Sir Clive, Dotteressa followed by Let's Compromise, Lord Kefalonia, and Phoenix Park knocked up to finish last. Great performance, Bomber Bill. Through the outside gate.
Bomber Bill, Michael Carl, what a going away present for Michael, who leaves on Tuesday for Hong Kong. 10.20 and 3.10, Defire 2.10, Maitland Gold 2.80, Quinell.
$10 yesterday. He donkey-licked them in the Liverpool City Cup. The race favourite was Phoenix Park. He had a dream run throughout. Highly disappointing. No explanation for that dismal failure at the end of the day. Maybe something will be revealed today, but he certainly needs to improve.
Terrible.
An eye-catching performance by Defire, who was resuming yesterday, and also Maitland Gold. She ran a terrific race first up after having to cross from a wide alley.
I saddled Defire up.
Did you?
Guy Walter, yes. He didn't have enough time with the presentation for Tie the Knot, and he gave me the saddle. That saddle did not slip. Saddle stayed on beautifully, and he's a lovely horse, Defire. So I watched him all through the race. I'll be following him.
He's got a group win in him.
Terrific chance in the Surround Stakes. A tough race coming up next here at Warwick Farm.
$10. Gee, they got to the start point early here. They seem to have been moving around there behind the line for ages.
And they're all ready to go. The Surround Stakes. Field of 16 here. And the racing, and the Heretier from the outside in company with Vita jumped quickly. So did Gradual. Shook hard ridden and is going for the lead, followed closely by Grand Jura. And then Ancient Song about 3 lengths further off is Fleeting. Of the 950, and Shook is showing the way. Second Gradual. On the inside is Ancient Song. Grand Jura fourth, and then Vita followed by Fleeting. One Heretier, a little over a length in at the 750. Barrowin followed closely by Keys, and Pirouettes is over on its inside. Then Patterns a length of shove off. Anytime Angel, Hosanna and Ugachaka, and the Big Chillers last of all with 550 metres to go. Ancient Song is joining Shook, a length behind them. Gradual, a length and a half further back is Grand Jura, followed by Vita. Then Fleeting Patterns has made ground. Heretier is threading her way through the centre of the field, and Hosanna is fourth last as they round the corner from Shove Off. It's Shook just in front from Ancient Song. Grand Jura joining in. Heretier putting in a sprint, and Hosanna's coming right down the outside. Fleeting is going back to the inside, and here's Keys. Heretier got to the front from Keys. Here is Hosanna. Heretier in front. Hosanna is pouncing on her. Hosanna gets there. Hosanna beat Heretier and Keys, followed by Ugachaka flying home. Then Grand Jura, the Big Chill, Fleeting, Shove Off, and then Patterns. Ancient Song at Any Time Angel. Good margin away. Next in the run came Barrowin, Vita. Shook knocked up from Pirouettes, and Gradual last to complete the course. Hosanna, City riding for Gay Waterhouse. Number 3, Keys third. A Royal Academy filly trained by Clary Connors, Darryl McClellan. 4 fourth, 2 fifth, 14 sixth. Overall time 120.
Peter Snowden there. The distances reserved for that one sprint, and she's got it.
Yeah, well, the Coolmore Classic over the 1,500 metres at Rosehill is her next target. That'll be on March 9, and what a thrilling battle that will be between her and Sunline, who will probably receive the maximum top weight of 60 kilos. Also, Ha will line up in the event, so a really strong Coolmore Classic this year. Richard, Ugachaka, a very eye-catching performance yesterday.
Yeah, it was a little unfortunate that earlier in the day, Corey Brown actually had a fall and was unable to take the mount on the horse, and at the last minute Terry Jones was replacing Corey Brown on the horse. Terry didn't have a lot of chance to see how she raced or go through a form or anything like that, and ended up in a bit of a traffic jam at a place in the race where he didn't want to be, and he came back and said it was a great run, it should have won. But I was speaking to Darren Beedman after the race. He said, I was right outside you on Hosanna. He said, I could see you in there. He said, I was never going to let you out. So he didn't, and we ran fourth and he won.
Interesting you mentioned Corey Brown.
And the autumn campaign of Victoria Derby winner Amalfi is over. Peter Moody's 3-year-old was to have run in tomorrow's star-studded Group 2 Shannon's Classic until a tendon injury was discovered at Caulfield this morning.
After a promising first-up run, Amalfi was on course for a bumper autumn campaign that all ended this morning.
In all probability, we'd probably take the soft option and spell the horse and ready him for the spring.
On the track, tomorrow's highlight.
Dominating the betting, 550 Mookarina, a stablemate to the Guineas winner, Swing and Mist. 770 for Dainty Deb, Brent Stanton.
For the big one of the day, the ADT Black Opal Stakes. Now, Appertine Stream and Mio Contreras last of all, but around the turn, Mookarina moved up on the outside of Screen Jester. They've kicked away, running on fairly well. Majorette followed then by Bartos, and the next one was Dainty Deb. Planchet is running on fairly well, but as they race halfway down the straight, Mookarina reached the lead from Screen Jester, running on Majorette, and Planchet is coming quickly down the outside, but in the meantime, Mookarina drew clear. Planchet on the outside, and Majorette is flying. Planchet on the outside is coming quickly, and Planchet got up to win the Black Opal. Close for second between Mookarina and Majorette. In behind those T-Bar, followed then by Kenny Ladd out of Penny, Darren Beedman for John Hawkes.
Good on you, Tony, and great on the Futurity Stakes. Dash for Cash at 100, Barcata 97, Chattanooga 90, Ruthless Tycoon 83. Market on the Group 1er, Mr Murphy 37, Desert Sky 14, a Quiver 63, Chattanooga 970, Dash for Cash 380, Barcata 280, and Gordo at $8.30.
Oliver, who won this race on Mr Murphy, Testarossa, and back in 92 on Mannerism. He's got 3 on the board. Moving in, here's Gordo. Racing in the Group 1. And Mr Murphy jumped away well, but Dash for Cash heads him immediately, and Barcata heads Dash for Cash and finds the front. Desert Sky, much more prominent today, is up on the outside, followed by Quiver. 2 lengths away, settling 5th now, Mr Murphy, followed then by Chattanooga. A length of Desert Sky's a half length away, just wants to pull a touch. Dash for Cash behind them, 3rd on the inside, and then a Quiver. 2 lengths to Mr Murphy. Chattanooga a length and a half further back as Miss Penny Money. Ruthless Tycoon around her, trailed by Gordo, Lolita Star, and Emission last of all, 10 from the leader. Barcata up the side, 600 to go. Out by a half length to Desert Sky. Dash for Cash sweating on a run behind the leader. A Quiver is 4th, 2 lengths Mr Murphy. Chattanooga, Miss Penny Money on the inside, trailed by Gordo, Ruthless Tycoon, and then came Emission and Lolita Star. Barcata around the turn in front. Desert Sky showing the whip. Dash for Cash trying to get out from the pocket. A Quiver's dropped off, and then came Chattanooga. Barcata at the 200 in front. Dash for Cash got the run, and he's winding up strongly. The 3-year-old Gray, he's taken over the running. They're followed by Desert Sky, and then came a Quiver. Dash for Cash the leader. Chattanooga's flying the outside. Dash for Cash 1.5 head to Chattanooga, who stormed home. Photo 3rd between a Quiver, Desert Sky. Barcata folded, then Mr Murphy, Ruthless Tycoon, followed by Gordo, never came into it, and then Lolita Star, and a long break to the tail end of the field, Miss Penny Money and Emission.
John, Rick, again, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Alf. It was a great win. He just hung on. Probably the sting out of the ground might have suited the second horse, eh?
Well, there they go. Rick, you know, he just keeps stepping up to the mark all the time.
Oh, he had the form to win the race, Alf, and he had a nice barrier, and he's got a ton of guts.
Rick, one thing that I runs, your jockey on both occasions, even though it was a different one today, they were the aggressor in the first 20 yards of the race.
We had the inside barrier, and I said to Kieran to don't give Friedman's horse an easy cross.
Tank there?
There was a little bit left, Graham, but the other horse come quite quick on the line, and you know, he wouldn't have wanted much further.
Right. He's clearly the best 3-year-old in Victoria up to 1,600 metres, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a tough horse, and Rick's got him going along quite well, dropping back from the mile back to 1,400, and yesterday was a good win.
Were you worried at any stage, Kieran, on the corner when you were bailed up behind Barcata with Desert Sky on your outside there? You looked for a stride there like you mightn't get a run, but then it came fairly quickly.
Yeah, I was counting on Barcata actually going a little bit further into the straight, and then that would have enabled me to push out, but he compounded a little bit quicker than what I thought, and I had to do a bit of bullocking work to get out, but being such a big, strong horse, I was able to do that quite easily.
Cash Kieran has been set for the Doncaster.
Against 3rd, was only a nose in it, was subsequently upheld. Chattanooga's run was really good, wasn't it, Keith?
It was fantastic, and he was actually suited when the track became a little greasy. Kieran
head of Old Comrade and Ethereal. Now here is the market on the St George. Northerly $1.30, Old Comrade $15, a late ride for Peter Merton. Sent Home $7.40, Spirit of Westbury $54, Ethereal $12, market price.
So they're set. Group 2 at 1800. Northerly the favourite, drawn gate 1. They're off, and he's jumped well. So did Sent Home with Ethereal on their outside. And soon after the jump, Toscanos was making some ground on the outside with Spirit of Westbury. Old Comrade settled second last. Ethereal's drifted back to third last now. And Northerly's going to let a few go around him through past the 1400. Spirit of Westbury leads from Dinmont, Toscanos. Piper Star is fourth, and Northerly's back fifth on the inside, climbing the hill. Half a length, 3-year-old Dinmont in front, not going all that quickly. He led Spirit of Westbury second, a length and a half, Piper Star. Toscanos is up fourth, the outside, and Northerly getting up on the inside with Sent Home on his outside. He hasn't had any favours, Northerly. Pocketed away, he's not really where he wants to be. 2 lengths further back, Ethereal, and then came Old Comrade and Market Price. They're inside the 600. It's Dinmont the leader from Spirit of Westbury, Piper Star, Toscanos. Sent Home in fifth placing. Northerly needing a brilliant sprint to win from where he is as they come round the home turn, and pulling to the outside, Market Price and Old Comrade. Dinmont came round the turn in front. Northerly's got brilliant rails runs, and he kicks through along the inside, and he's hit the front at the 250. Piper Star and Old Comrade are coming. Northerly under the whip now. Piper Star, Old Comrade joining him on the outside. Old Comrade in front. Northerly trying to kick back, and kick he does. Northerly fighting on strongly. Northerly blows them away. What a win. Northerly from Old Comrade or Piper Star. Then came Sent Home, and behind them Ethereal, trailed by Dinmont, and then Market Price, Spirit of Westbury and Toscanos. He had no favours, but we saw a fighting lion win this afternoon. Well, at this stage of the battle, I've got to use the whip in the right hand here. That's where he's most effective. It's been a great win. It might not be the flashiest of victories. It might not be a spine tingler with great acceleration, but what it was great heart, great fight, never say die attitude, and a horse with an absolute will to win and race past his rivals. Look at him stretch his head out and find the line there, and Damien enjoyed that a lot. $1.50.
That was as tough a run as it's going to be. He had a lot of enemies out there, and there was a lot of traffic, and it was a great ride by Damien's in the end, and a full-blooded effort by Northerly, just an outstanding guts and determination win.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I the corner, but he's a, you know, he's a super horse, Northerly, the way he fights on. I thought Old Comrade had him. I would have just backed Old Comrade for all money halfway down the straight, but he's got a heart like a lion, Northerly. He won't give up.
And now he goes on to the Australian Cup on March 11, and if he wins that, Keith, it's hard to see him getting beaten in the Australian Horse of the Year title as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. I mean, this is a very good horse. You heard the superlatives that were used after the win. I don't think I've seen a horse, I may have seen better, but not one with the courage to match this horse, Northerly. Damien Oliver doesn't give an inch in when he rides, and he doesn't expect anything either. Yesterday, you may have sensed him suit Old Comrade, yet he ran so well. He's been the firming rival for Northerly in the Australian Cup, and Ethereal also was not suited by the greasy conditions. I think Ethereal, well, I know Ethereal finished fifth, beaten less than 5 lengths, and Scott Seamus said that the top mare just wasn't totally comfortable, Graham, on the slippery surface.
Well, on that note, Keith, let's... Yeah, so summing up...
So plenty of galloping room today, whatever it may be. We got her to the 1,200 metres last time. She raced well over the journey, and even in the Irwin she raced as though she had won.
This race run and the Canterbury Guineas tonight, I think the AJC Derby picture will become that little bit clearer, or it should do. Royal Code Ustinov and the improving Don Eduardo, the main stays here. Ustinov very good at his last start, so was Royal Code. But didn't lose a lot of ground, and Leather Lane got away quickly. Royal Code just behind them, followed by Don Eduardo fourth, then Zarek, Ustinov, Manang. Getting up on the inside, Ballesteros and Grey Song settled at the tail. All Carriage made play out past the 1400. All carriage by Nick Leatherlane and about 4 lengths away Menang outside Ballesteros. Another 4 Royal Code followed by Don Eduardo on the outside of Zarek. They're trailed by Grey Song on the inside of Eustonov. Coming up the side of the course now, all carriage led from Leatherlane. 2 or 3 lengths back is Menang, and over on the inside just behind them Ballesteros. Don Eduardo hard ridden to get up to 5th placing, and Royal Code's ridden along just inside him as they come around the turn, and then came Zarek and Eustonov from Grey Song. All carriage comes to the turn in front. Menang, the filly's running a big race out after it. Royal Code and Don Eduardo are getting to the outside to come with their challenges, and Eustonov's coming the widest runner. All carriage led Menang, Royal Code and Don Eduardo down the outside. All carriage living up to his name for the moment, but Royal Code and Don Eduardo come now. Royal Code hit the front, Don Eduardo after him. Don Eduardo, Royal Code down to the line, they hit it, and Don Eduardo 1.5 head to Royal Code. 2 lengths back, all carriage third, and then Menang, Grey Song, Eustonov, he didn't go on, followed by Zarek. Back towards the tail of the field is Leatherlane, and last to finish in the race is Ballesteros. Going to be a...
He just keeps going at the rate of present improvement. Who knows? Races like the Rosehill Guineas and the AJC Australian Derby may not be beyond him. He's just getting better and better, and the further they go.
His Don is good. He thinks he thinks he's pretty good, Don Eduardo. He rates him very highly, and you know, the way he said to me before the race, he said the race will be too short for him. He said Royal Code will out-sprint him, and that's what Lee said to me before the race, and it looked like it was playing exactly that way. Royal Code looked like he was going to out-sprint him, but this horse just lifted over the last couple of 100 metres, or the last 100 anyway, and just bloused Royal Code, who ran very well, and Little All Courage on the inside there, who got annoyed by Leatherlane the entire way, and Leatherlane finished second last, but the Little All Courage kept battling on. He did very well as well. He has to lead to run his best.
Gosh, he's a good horse.
He's tough.
I really like him, All Courage. I just
think Don Eduardo will be, Lee rates him right up there with the best 3-year-olds he's had, and probably the best in quite a long time.
I believe, Richard, from the day.
Well done. But one thing I will say about Don Eduardo, everyone who said that Eduardo Cuenco was mad to pay that much money for him, you'd get that money for him at any stud in the country at the moment.
He actually intimated that last week.
He may end up being a very good investment.
He may be. Let's continue.
I ask Richard, if you don't mind?
Brendan, evening to you, evening to Sky viewers, and we're set for the first of the night. The Skyline Schwarzeer at 1:20. Racing in the Skyline, they jumped as one. Jester's Lad just in front, headed immediately by Charlie Bub and Emerging Star. Good battle between Emerging Star and Charlie Bub, with Emerging Star now about a 800 they travelled, and Emerging Star now being taken on by Jester's Lad, and a length behind them Charlie Bub. 1.5 to Schwarzeer, and a length further back is Cohen. They work their way out of the back straight and come along the side of the 600 marker, and Emerging Star in front. Jester's Lad galloping second. Third posse is Charlie Bub on the inside of the long odds-on favourite Schwarzeer, and 2 lengths further off is Cohen. 400 to go now, and Len Beasley is starting to make ground on the Newcastle colt Schwarzeer, and is setting the sail after the Waterhouse rep Emerging Star, and as they straighten up, it's Emerging Star 1.5 on Schwarzeer. Charlie Bub third, and forget the other pair. Schwarzeer is picking up Emerging Star very quickly, and away goes Schwarzeer, a real golden slipper hope, and he's toying with his rival Schwarzeer unextended, and Schwarzeer bolts home in the Skyline from Emerging Star, Charlie Bub, Cohen and Jester's Lad. Very, very smart horse, and who knows, we could have seen the Golden Slipper winner there. Number 1 Schwarzeer.
But the horse handled the field with the sort of disdain that you would have expected him to. He's now the second favourite for the Golden Slipper at $4.50, behind the Blue Diamond winner Belle Esprit. Still some conjecture as to whether or not Belle Esprit will actually come to Sydney for the big race. And if they do, what would be the likely path that he'll take? Keith Hilly is probably best to answer that.
Yeah, Joe, I'm not quite sure what he's favourite for the race, so he'll be there, and he's going to be the one to beat for sure.
False favourite, I reckon, Keith.
False favourite?
Yeah, false favourite. That horse, Schwarzeer, should be favourite for the race. The form around him's sensational. If you accept what Damien Oliver said about Pillaging, that if he'd come off the fence, he would have troubled Belle Esprit in the Blue Diamond. He was beaten 3 lengths easily by Schwarzeer, and then Mukarina came out and ran second in the Blue Diamond yesterday. Black Opal yesterday. And the form around Schwarzeer is just the strongest form all season. He won like it was a track gallop last night, and if he's not
favourite.
To meet you, Bruce. Your first trip to Sydney with this filly, with the Golden Slipper, your main mission.
Yeah, it is. She's a little bit tad underdone today, but we've got one race on the 23rd, and that's where we'll have a peeking for.
She's unbeaten in 4 starts. She's done no wrong so far.
No, she's a brilliant filly, and really we don't know how good she is. You know, she's never been tested. And
support for Victory Vane in the upcoming Group 3 Sweet Embrace Stakes. Victory Vane beat Murray, puts the polish on. Chuckle remains firm in betting.
Time jumped in a good line too, and Callaway Gal straight to the lead on settling down. A length and a half on the newcomer Freaky. Third posse is Chuckle, followed closely by Sadler Silk, Air of Grace. Victory Vane at a length the first act. They work their way out of the back straight, and Callaway Gal's gone further in front past the 600, and the Brisbane filly Callaway Gal leads 3 lengths on Chuckle, setting out after an hour. Third is Freaky dropping off. Victory Vane passing her along the rails, followed by Sadler's Silk. 2.5 to Air of Grace at about 6 lengths to Verstack. Callaway Gal first for home, a length and a half on Chuckle, and Victory Vane a similar margin away third, setting sail for the judge, and Callaway Gal in front. Here's Victory Vane. Victory Vane and Chuckle going after Callaway Gal. Callaway Gal under siege. Victory Vane's got a... Chuckle can't match the little filly from the south coast of New South Wales, and Victory Vane does it again. Victory Vane has beaten Chuckle and beaten her convincingly. Callaway Gal a weakening third, followed by Air of Grace, Sadler's Silk, Verstack, and tailed off Freaky.
Valley Canterbury, they are official. Victory Vane from Chuckle and Callaway Gal. And there's your exotic information. Winning
of the Golden Slipper a little bit, Danny. His Sweet Embrace Stakes winner was Ha Ha, who went on to win the Golden Slipper, and really there's no reason why Victory Vane can't go on and do the same thing. She surprised many people last night, but now I think she's really asserted her authority in the Golden Slipper. As for Callaway Girl, a big rap on this filly coming down from Brisbane. Richard, it was her first start in Sydney, and went out like a scolded cat. Could that be the excuse for a defeat?
Well, you would think so. They ran a race record in that race, so she must have gone along at a fair bat. And, you know, I guess that's hard to lead at that sort of pace all the way, especially when you've got good, strong 2-year-olds behind you who are in form. And, yeah, they ran over the top of her, but ridden a little more quietly. She might run a bit better. I don't sort of like her as a slipper horse, though. I don't know if she's strong enough.
Bruce Bowen, the trainer I spoke to.
Stakes. And Empire rates on top from Shogun Lodge, Crawl and Elmerada. 9, 1, 3 and 5 runners parading. This is a Group 2. The market has Shogun Lodge, the favoured runner, New South Wales. Whereas when we go...
Race 3 tonight, the Canterbury Hurlston Park RSL Stakes, won last year by Shogun Lodge, who's the favourite this year. Second favourite now, 290. He's been favourite for a while on the tote, but now Empire's come in to oust him. 290 number 1, Empire number 9 at $2.50. Previous going to racing, and a good start. Immediately Padstow out the back, and Diamond Dane goes to the lead narrowly from Perfect Crime, Wider Empire. Elmerada's galloping fourth, followed closely by Referral, then Shogun Lodge. Sports Brat the lead narrowly from Diamond Dane. Between them, third is Perfect Crime, Elmerada fourth, and a couple of lengths Referral around Sports Brat, and a length and a half to Shogun Lodge. Padstow next to last, and 2 lengths to Crawl. This is the order out of the back straight, with one exception. Empire given full ball by J.A. Cassidy, and at the 500 the Newcastle horse has raced away. Empire nearly 2 lengths on Diamond Dane. Perfect Crime under the stick, then Elmerada. Sports Brat Referral, a length to Padstow. Shogun Lodge to the extreme outside, and Crawl is last around the corner. Empire straightens up for the run of the judge by 2 on Diamond Dane, and Seamer's gone for the whip on the Queenslander, but he's making ground on Empire, and 2.5 Elmerada, then Shogun Lodge. Empire still in front. They are not getting to Empire at the moment. He's starting to weaken. Diamond Dane coming at him, won't get there. Empire did it all the way to beat Diamond Dane. Shogun Lodge, what a great run. Not far back was Elmerada with Crawl, then Padstow, Sports Brat, Perfect Crime, and Referral was last.
961, time will be in. The first 4, 9, 6, 1 and 5, paid $379.50. Mooney Valley.
Tonight.
Right, good.
He had to work hard tonight too.
So he's come a long way, really.
Very impressive horse, Empire, and I like the way he got to the line. He ran 34.7 for his last 600, which was the fastest split of the night by about half a second. So watch the horses that ran on behind him, like Diamond Dane and Shogun Lodge. They must have run incredible last 600s, particularly Shogun Lodge, who came from the rear of the field. So I think the form around this race will will hold up pretty well, especially for the horses that ran on.
The George Ryder for Shogun Lodge.
Yeah, he would have run a cracking last split, Shogun Lodge.
Right, okay. Update you on the ratings, and they go with Carnegie Express to Quinella with its stablemate. It's 2, 11, 1 and 8, Harp of Tara at big odds. Market looks this way, not much between the top two. As we check over the page, Héritier, $7.10, named after a famed French perfume, has poked up on the fence, winning time to be confirmed. Canterbury not too far away, the Daily Telegraph Guineas, like a Gov, tightens in now, takes toed favouritism from Carnegie Express. Ron, which way have you gone?
He's always like that, so I've got to give him a chance, a good chance in fact. Best of the rest, the filly Héritier. There's not much depth in this field, I'd suggest. Look for a forward showing from the Melbourne visitor, Pentastic, who paraded lovely. 2 on...
Daily Telegraph, Canterbury Guineas. They're off. And My Tally jumped out well from the centre, commencing nicely Héritier. Valkyrian and Like a Gov were away nicely. And as they travel down past the 200 on the first occasion, Héritier just leading. Star of St Covert is 3 deep, and Like a Gov holding the rails. A length and a half to Valkyrie, and then Carnegie. More than half the journey, and Like a Gov shows out by a length and a half. Héritier. Star of St Covert third by the 800, and then Valkyrian keeping Carnegie Express well and truly locked up. A little over a length's gap, then to Road to Dance, followed by Harp of Tara. Then Pentastic, followed by My Tally. Another warrior next to last, and still absolute is Rockley Opera. Like a Gov is giving a bold exhibition of galloping in the Canterbury Guineas, and down towards the corner at the 400, and Seamer extending on Like a Gov, and the Star New Zealand gelding put 2 lengths. Star of St Covert second. Carnegie Express is into the clear. He's 4 lengths off Like a Gov. Now 3, now 2. Here he comes. And at the 200, Carnegie Express absolutely pounced on Like a Gov to burn him off. And then Pentastic, but this is 5 straight coming up for Carnegie Express. Second is Pentastic, but how good Carnegie Express. Carnegie Express from Pentastic, another warrior, and Like a Gov walked the last 50. Then My Tally, Harp of Tara, followed by Rockley Opera. Further away in the field, then Star of St Covert, Road to Dance, Valkyrian, and absolute was Héritier.
2-4-10, Gay Waterhouse collects the Daily Telegraph Canterbury Guineas, 280, first 4, 2,478.90 on 2-4-10 and 1. So, another
3-year-old, isn't he?
He is, Joe. He's sort of done everything pretty right. His win at Gosford was good. His win tonight was very good. Probably pretty much untouched tonight, really. He sort of went to the line. Good on you, Bossy. Went to the line nice. I like the horse. He's pretty exciting.
As you say, but the race wasn't without incident. In fact, we'll talk about the suspension to Jim Cassidy in just a moment. We'll just have a look. Treble Aboard is over on the fence in the blue with the white cap. Now watch here as we roll tape and the interference.
Yeah, you see Carnegie Express, he just rolled in and checked Pentastic, and Pentastic might have hit the running rail just before the corner there. It cost Pentastic a few lengths. Carnegie Express was off and running then, Pentastic still coming across heels trying to extricate himself, and he did take ground off Carnegie Express in the last 200 metres. Not a lot of ground, but he was taking ground off him. And, you know, probably good reason to protest, but he was never going to get it with the margin being, you know, nearly 3 lengths. Yeah.
Jim Cassidy has been suspended until the 21st of March now, so unfortunately for him, he will miss the ride on Carnegie Express in the Rosehill Guineas, which at this stage the horse looks to have at his mercy. That was a dominant performance last night.
You sat in at the hearing?
Yeah, rather.
Let's have a look at...
At Marvilla, Lonro put its head in front, and Lonro wins it from Marvilla and Phaser. And then about 4 lengths to Sound Supreme, a gap then to Cash and Glory, followed by Ring Craig and Coral Salute going back to the tail of the field.
Lonro for John Hawkes and Rod Quinn, 47.5, so his time was good. Unfortunately, the bad news since that trial has been that he's gone to the paddock tone, suffering a severe cold, and at best or at nearest we'll see him in the winter.
Yeah, well, that's right. Johnny Hawkes has suggested he'll just ease up on him, so hopefully it won't be too long before we see him again.
Blue Diamond went a gallon second to Bel Esprit, certainly looks the one here. Always been very tight on the tote in New South Wales, $1.50. Anyway, we'll soon know the outcome of the Thrifty Riesling Slipper trial as they're all set. Slow track, the rail is true. Waiting on Smash, attendant with her. Racing this time, nice even start too, and the New Zealand filly Flying Class got the best of it and leads about a length on settling down from Fatoon, Brief Embrace, followed by Jeu Desire, and then our teacher's Kidman. This is the pattern working along towards the 600 pole, and Flying Class shows the way, 3/4 of a length on Fatoon, 2.5 to Brief Embrace on the outside of Jeu Desire. 2 further back is Salome, then our teacher's Pet, 1 to Smash, and a length further off is Kidman around the corner. McAvoy pulling Brief Embrace out to throw out the challenge to Fatoon, who headed the New Zealand filly Flying Class, and Brief Embrace is coming out after Fatoon, then Jeu Desire, Salome, and Kidman on the extreme outside from Smash. Brief Embrace having a struggle to get to Fatoon, 100 to go. It's Fatoon more than a length on Brief Embrace and then Kidman, but it's all Fatoon, and Fatoon wins the money. Fatoon from a tighty between Brief Embrace and Kidman, and Smash getting home well, looking for longer. Then Salome, Jeu Desire. Her debut only on the 9th of Feb in the Silver Slipper. She was 6th behind Victory Vane, beaten 6.5 lengths. And
she's pretty smart. Week, but you start to think, well, what are the Melbourne 2-year-olds like?
It's a very open golden slipper, I think, at this stage.
It's so open. Well, they're falling away, and there's new ones.
Bit of speed with Snowland and Yell. Where will you be settling? Just behind them?
Yeah, he should just sit off speed.
Okay.
I wasn't disappointed with it. Sometimes they weight them occasionally on potential rather than ability. I think they've...
Sentinel putting on a reasonable speed, makes the run down by the 650, 3/4 of a length on Snowland, 2.5 to Prime Century wide, Tackus in the middle, being pushed along a shade, and likewise Wild Hut, and 3 lengths to Minority as they commence the run around the corner in the Todman Slipper Trial. And Yell and Rodney Quinn coming about 3 horses off the inside rail, straightens up about a half length on Snowland, being called upon now by Chris Munson, the 2 fancied horses, a race for Tackass, and then Prime Century down to the 200. Yell the inside and Snowland, little between them, 4 to Tackass. Yell the inside and Snowland. Snowland's got a battle on his hands here. Snowland put his nose in front of Yell. Oh, he's a professional racehorse, and on the line Snowland about a short neck to Yell. Third home was Tackass, then Prime Century, Minority second last, and Wild Heart was last. He showed plenty of guts there. The first 4.
At default, Snowland, he just keeps on winning, keeps on impressing every time he steps out, so he's got to be considered the top chance along with Schwarzeer now for the Golden Slipper, and he proved yesterday that he can run out the 1,200 metres. The horse that will improve out of the race is undoubtedly Yell. Wayne hadn't raced since mid-February after winning the Veuve Clicquot at Caulfield.
Yeah, Yell, he's got a habit of making these horses work for their money, hasn't he? Like he worried Innovation Girl, supposedly the best 2-year-old filly in Melbourne, out of a race to Veuve Clicquot. Yesterday, it was only just the last little bit he was found wanting. They hadn't run for a little while. But I think Chris Muntz hit the nail on the head when he said the barrier is going to make a big difference there. He's very professional, off a little bit.
Yeah, he's going to be right up on the pace. My word. Where others got to come from.
Ahead of Patterns, Yuga Chaka and Grand Jura. 9 from 10, 11, 15 as we hear from John Scourse, the rider of Swing and Mist.
Swing and Mist, the Canberra Guineas winner here today, John. Could be the upset horse.
Very good at home. This is a jump up.
Pirouette's a winner 3. Up from 10, 11 and 15 equal second picks as we go trackside for the far lap.
Rage. And they're off this time, and Vita got the best of the start. Commencing pretty well was Arlington Road. Patton's up there in 3rd spot, followed closely by Grand Jura. Marker, and Jimmy Cassidy has Arlington Road leading the way. Patton second, Vita back third, Keys fourth, and then Stormforce in the centre, and wider out on the track next is Grand Jura, followed by the New Zealander Athens, a length of the Hot Pot Ugachaka, followed by Swing and Mist, and then Pirouettes, followed a length and a half further back Rodolphus. Over on the rails is St Xavier from Kuda, Barrowin, and Gordo brings up the rear. 700 left to travel, and Arlington Road leads the way, a length and a half on Pattons. Keys holding the rails, and then Vita, Stormforce between Athens the inside, Grand Jura wider out, and then Ugachaka followed by Swing and Miss, Rodolphus, and then Pirouettes and Xavier, Barrowin, Kuda and Gordo into the straight, and 400 ahead of them here. Arlington Road a length and a half on Pattons and Keys. On the outside, Vita, and now Ugachaka is letting rip from Grand Jura. Athens nearer to the inside, and right up against the fence is Gordo. Here's Ugachaka out after Arlington Road. Arlington Road a half in front, slowly but surely the filly is bridging the gap. Uga Chaka, Arlington Road still in front. Uga won't get there. Arlington Road narrowly from Uga Chaka with Gordo third and Keys fourth. Then Pirouette's Grandura, Swing and Miss Barrowin. Vita, Athens, Patterns followed by Storm Force. Good margin to Cuda and the last pair Rodolphus and St Xavier. Which wasn't required, of course.
Okay, and just that winning time to be confirmed too, we'll listen out for from the track. Arlington Road, the winner. Yvonne, our Group 1's from Rosehill Gardens, and this is the Ranvet. Here's the check of the ratings for you. And it's Tie the Knot, 7 clear of Universal Prince and Freemason, then Dress Circle. The market looks this way as we hear from the rider of Tie the Knot.
Paddy can Tie the Knot win his 3rd consecutive Ranvet Stakes this afternoon.
Well, there's no reason why he can't.
Universal Prince. Can he win his 3rd successive Ranvet Tie the Knot? Well, he's actually been past the post first on 3 occasions, hasn't he? In 1999, beaten on protest by Darazari. Right, John joins us now as Ranvet Stakes, and they're off and running. And as they come into my view, the leader is Dress Circle from Golden Fawn. Tie the Knot is galloping 3rd. Freemason is 4th. Then Gillespie, Sail of Century, Universal Prince, and dropping to the rear, Padfoot Charlie. As the Golden Fawn, and then comes Gillespie, followed by Tie the Knot, parked over on the inside of Universal Prince, and about 2 lengths Sail of Century and Padfoot Charlie. They're in pairs as they work their way down the side of the 750, and Dress Circle out by 3/4 of a length on Freemason. 1.5 to Golden Fawn, a half then to Gillespie, followed by Universal Prince, who's got Tie the Knot firmly snookered, and 2 Sail of Century and Padfoot Charlie. Coming to the corner in the Ranvet at the 500 marker, and Dress Circle is under siege. Golden Fawn goes through on the inside ahead him now. Then Freemason, Tie the Knot, plenty of room for him. Universal Prince is momentarily bailed away. Gillespie the outer. Tie the Knot, here he comes up on the inside after Dress Circle. Golden Fawn dropped off. Tie the Knot, he hits the front. Universal Prince is seeing daylight. Tie the Knot is the leader. Universal Prince, Dress Circle and Freemason. Tie the Knot's gone. Universal Prince hits the front, and Universal Prince wins the Ranvet. A great return. Universal Prince from a photo. Dress Circle and Freemason from Tie the Knot and Sail of Century, Gillespie, Golden Fawn, and last Padfoot Charlie. Number 2, Universal Prince. Ridden by Justin Sheehan. Brilliant performance.
Great horses, but 2 great riders. It was intriguing from the minute the gates opened. At one stage he had Tie the Knot in a pocket.
Well, that's right. Like Justin summed it up really. Tie the Knot had to go back to the inside. I think where the heavier going is, Justin let to go the other side, and Justin at his best again.
Well, here's Bede Murray now about to step into the picture. Congratulations, Bede. A wonderful performance.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. It was just great to see him back in the winner's circle.
Yeah, well, it was, Joe, and great to be associated with such a great horse, and you know, great connections.
Thrilling to watch from the minute the gates opened. Take us through the run you had.
Yeah, well, that's weight for age racing, isn't it? More or less set weight racing. So, you know, through the years it's been tactical, and, you know, that's what you grow up and dream of.
Ride by Justin. It was, you know, he drew inside, Tie the Knot, and we all know that it was better to be out rather than in yesterday on that track. And when they sorted themselves out, he had Universal Prince on the outside of Tie the Knot after drawing inside him, so I thought it was a very good tactical bit of riding.
It certainly was.
How do you rate the race, Bede? Because I was sort of surprised. I mean, your horse was an excellent effort to win, but I was sort of surprised to see horses like Dress Circle, Freemason and Sail of Century at level weight so close to Universal Prince and in front of Tie the Knot.
Yes, I think, you know, he ran the race like he usually does. He let him relax early, and he finished his race off at the right end when he got room, and I think he'll only improve on that effort, really.
The horse returned with a slight injury. He had I think it was his near side coronet. He had a bit of blood.
We want to be over there about a fortnight to 10 days before.
So we'll see him in the BMW and then not again till Hong Kong?
No, that's right, yes.
Talk to us.
One for fillies and mares in Australia. There's plenty for the fillies. It's 1 on top, no surprises, from Dotteressa and Hosanna. 1 from 5 and 6, then number 2. The market, $1.40 Sunline, ha-ha at $7.90. Make your own plays from that. Very short Sunline. $9.70 Hosanna, $11 though on Super Tab. As we check over the page, they move in well at Doomben. We await a scales report and 4th placing from Flemington. after the Brian Mayfield-Smith performance.
2 today here. She has one on the course, has one on the wet. Chris Muntz is stuck with her. And even a mare like Primrose Sands looked good in the parade too. I expect her to run a cheeky race. But my numbers will be 1, 2, 6 and 7. But it is a great race.
Here's Coolmore Classic. Sunline, a former winner of this race, and Ha Ha looking to down the equine superstar of Australasia. Time will tell as we head trackside for the Coolmore Classic.
Sunline Classic and Sunline on the inside jump quickly. Wider out Poppet is racing Sunline for the early lead. Maitland Gold is in third posse, followed by Lady Marion. Ha Ha a trifle. 100 marker, and Poppet is leading Sunline by nearly a length now. Third, Maitland Gold. Lady Marion is next, followed by Primrose Sands. Inside, Ha Ha to Hosanna. Around the outside is Gentle Genius, followed by Agile Dotteressa. A length further back is Nanny Maroon, and one further away in last position, Shove Off. Inside the 800 they go, and Poppet the leader. Charles popping off the fence now on the Sunline to sit about a length from the leader. Third, Maitland Gold wide. Lady Marion in the centre, and over on the rails, Primrose Sands as they pass the 600. A length, the Ha Ha, followed by Gentle Genius, Dotteressa. Then Nanny Maroon. Hosanna's lost ground from Agile, and Shove Off is last as they come around the corner, and Charles is asking Sunline to go now. Poppet almost joined by Sunline. Primrose Sands. Dotteressa's got right up on the inside, and then Maitland Gold, followed by Gentle Genius, and Nanny Maroon is coming down the adder. He's had to go for the whip on Sunline. Nanny Maroon is challenging. Sunline the leader. She's pulling out everything. Sunline the great mare. On the outside trying to get her is Gentle Genius, but Sunline, she does it again. She wins a second Coolmore and 9 million. She's topped in prize money. Sunline from Gentle Genius and Nanny Maroon. Followed home by Agile Hosanna, Maitland Gold, Shove Off, Primrose Sands, Ha Ha, Dotteressa. Followed by Lady Marion and Absolute Poppets.
Unbelievable, Trevor, under the 60 kilos. A beautiful ride, though, by Greg Charles to win today.
It certainly was, Joe, and a fantastic effort from the mare. She's just doesn't know how to give in at any stage, and it's very, very proud of her.
You didn't get her to the lead today. Was that the plan in a way, so that you didn't get trapped in the worst going, and then...
Yeah, well, this is right. If she'd flown out the barrier, well, OK, it was to go straight to the front, but to get off the fence at all costs sort of thing, so that's what we had to do, was go back to get around.
What were your thoughts when those challenges came late?
Well, I knew you should dig in and give her all the best, so you know, we'll always turn around and know that she's going to uplift and give you a little bit extra at any rate.
This could well be one of the last times that we see Sunline racing?
Yeah, it could be, but we'll just play it by ear, and the thing is, you know, while she's still racing most of the race, we'll keep on going.
Where does this win?
Greg Childs on a ride which proved a winner for a second Group 1 Coolmore, an 11th Group 1 victory for the great mare by Desert Sun, who tops the $9 million in career earnings.
Post today.
Relieved, because I felt it was probably at the 100-metre mark that I was fairly concerned, but with 50 metres to go I could feel her just surge that bit to hold him out. That's what it felt like, what it looked like. You know, people weren't sure until we hit the line, but I could feel her picking up again with 50 metres to go. Yeah.
Where she ended up in the run?
I mean, she'd prefer firmer ground, but she's back to her best. A 6-year-old mare. I mean, she won a Group 1. She had 2 starts as prep for 2 wins, both Group 1. Just unbelievable.
Another mighty crowd, you know, almost lifted her over the line yesterday. It was a stunning performance, it really was.
She fought back, didn't she, all the way?
Like a caged lion. I thought she was going to get beaten halfway down the straight. I thought she was absolutely going to get run over by Nanny Maroon or the horse that ran second, Gentle Genius, and but she just lifted another gear in the last 50 metres.
Richard, the question now is whether or not she'll be penalised for the Doncaster. A decision will be made by Mark Webby tomorrow.
Surely she should be, given the reaction to the initial release of weights when she was, when the handicapper was widely criticised for throwing her in too light. I would say that here's his opportunity to square up the ledger. Have a go, Mark.
Yeah. She never ceases to amaze. Every time I've seen her, like yesterday, it's the biggest, strongest I've ever seen her. She's just awesome.
Well, she's won 2 Group 1s this preparation. She's back better than ever. Greg Charles said in his interview, better than ever, bigger and better than ever.
She's 6.
And she's 6. She's won all these races. She won $9 million in prize money. Yeah. She's got to get more than what she's got in the Doncaster.
She's a tough cookie.
I wonder how far they'll go with her now. It was touted that this would be her last campaign, but the way she's racing, she could go on for quite some time yet.
29 wins from 42 starts. First horse in Australia to win 7 million. First now to win 8, and now first to win 9. She really must rank, Graham, amongst the great horses that you've seen, and I know your all-time favourite was Tully, but gee, she's in the top echelon of the greats, isn't she?
How does she rate with Carbine for you?
Very, very good sprint race this. The ratings were proved too strong. In fact, 8 and 19 ahead of Chattanooga and North Boy. 8 and 19 from 7 and 13. The market looks this way. There's page 1, Spinning Hill, the Lightning Stakes winner at $9.90. A check over the page. And as we go to break, Justin Sheehan returns saluting the big crowd at Rosehill after Universal Prince's dynamic Ranvet Stakes.
Can be a dog. Black Bean is alongside Bomber Bill. He's lining up for his third start in a Newmarket Handicap. He's ready. Outside gate 13 is Miss Penny Money, and as has been the case with her in recent starts, the barrier stall is left open. Clerk of the course stands in front, and they try and bring her into the gates and then close the stall in front and behind. Set, racing. Mystique and Toledo got away well. Chong Tong again looked to be a touch slow to move. Spinning Hill is going to come to the grandstand with Bomber Bill and Show a Heart as they settle into stride, and 8/8 is up there, and Desert Sky is finding the lead on the grandstand side. Over on the flat now, they've gone past the 1,000 metres, and the leader Roubaitano in company with Prince Roubaitano on his outside. Chattanooga is in behind those horses, and wider out came North Boy, followed in behind them then by Siddirka. Then came Debrief and Lady Belvedere as last of the flat division. Grandstand at the 600, and the leader here is Desert Sky on the outside rail ahead of Bomber Bill. Handy to them too is Spinning Hill and also Black Bean, followed by 8/8, and then came down the outside is Show a Heart from Miss Penny Money. Chong Tong trying to work into the clear on the other side now, and North Boys raced up to Prince Roubaitano and Roubaitano, and then Siddirka trying to get into the clear on the grandstand. Show a Heart has hit the front with Mystique. Desert Sky, Chong Tong's in the clear, he's coming with his run, and on the far side it's Roubaitano just in front. Mystique on the outside with Chong Tong and North Boy, but Roubaitano might have got it on the inside. They're right across the track, they're wide apart. Out wider was Chong Tong, North Boy and Mystique, and a real blanket finish to the Newmarket Handicap. Siddirka's just off them, followed by Debrief. Hurricane Sky wasn't all that far away on the outside, followed by Lady Belvedere, and they were trailed then by Prince Roubaitano, Slalom, Toledo, back behind those horses to finish Spinning Hill, then Miss Penny Money, Black Bean, 8/8, and Show a Heart, a real photo finish. Tina's got it, Roubaitano, Stephen Baster. In about a 5 or 6 way finish, Roubaitano on the flat side rail has won the Newmarket. He's led virtually all the way down there. Stephen Baster, who won the race in 1994 on Mukhtar as an apprentice, returns to the winner's stall. Now here's the minor placing. 13, North Boy has run second, Scott Seamer. And third is Anyone's Guess. And the time is 1 minute and 9. It's 19:13.
Confirmed. And if you follow the ratings, what a great result for Brian Mayfield Smith. Equal top rater gets the cash. Those top 3 came out of your top 4 raters as we go to Alf.
It'd help him. I mean, I knew he'd go along because he's a natural running horse, but he was just going a bit too hard. And today with the 51 kilos, well, I thought, you know, he's got a great chance. Because Brett Preble rode him the other day, and when he got off, he said to me, you know, it's a real serious racehorse, this. He said he'll make Group 1 horse. So I didn't think it would happen this fast.
It certainly did happen pretty quick. Yeah. Brian, you know...
OK, Alf, we better go straight to Larry for his mallet.
It could be more improvement yet.
OK, Alf, we better go straight to Larry for his mallet.
May have may have won the race up against those on the inside, but such was not the case. An optical illusion. Greg got it right, as you heard, so did Brian Martin. Wonderful training performance again by Brian Mayfield Smith. Here he is. Moment, you would have had a look out the corner of your right eye. Did you think you'd won?
I wasn't sure. I did think I'd run 1, 2, 3, but the luck I've been having lately, it wouldn't have surprised me if I had got beat.
Yeah, the Herald Sun in Melbourne this morning ran a photo that we'll have a look at soon. But here's the 2 divisions of the Newmarket. Gee, North Boy took some shaking off, Stephen.
Yeah, that's right. North Boy was right on the outside, and unfortunately for him, he drifted out a lot the last sort of 50 metres, and that probably won the race for me.
Well, there's the finish. there's probably a neck separating the first 6 horses, and
Keith, less than a length separating the first 9.
Yeah, and
So-
that's a still shot published in the Herald Sun in Melbourne this morning. That's quite a freakish photo, Stephen, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, Keith. It's amazing, the finish. I thought there was 2 or 3 horses there, and I was surprised to see the photo after the race that there was about 8 horses outside me, so it was great that we held on, and my horse showed a lot of courage to hold on like he did.
Yeah.
Showed a lot of courage and put his head out there, and he looks like being a top-line sprinter.
Hey, Richard, you have been a bit critical of the straight racing.
Yeah.
Now, in that particular race yesterday, they were right across the track at the finish. Does that disprove your theory about the unevenness of the track?
Only perhaps yesterday. I mean, most days it is uneven. And, you know, if you're going to take it on one particular race, one particular day, then yes, it probably looks even. But I can tell you there's plenty of other days when it's not even. And for the sake of directing the...
summed it all up. Chong Tong was unlucky.
Well, he's missed the kick. He's 14th at the 400, and they've come home in under 33.8, I think, for the last 600 metres, and he's had to make up ground from 14th and got beaten ahead. So, you know, very frustrating, those sort of days. Very frustrating, I can tell you. Yeah. There he is in the middle there in the red colours. He's making up enormous amounts of ground. One more stride, he probably wins the race, but anyway, not to be.
Keith, just before we leave the Newmarket, by the way, Lady Belvedere's running that was good too. Have you ever seen...
Uni Stakes, 3-year-old fillies going around. Lilo Lil rates from Elegant Fashion and Damasceno, and then Moondragon, who's the favourite. 1 from 6 and 9, then number 3. And here's the latest check of betting figures as we hear from the rider. Stephen King, haste you back.
Well, it's wonderful to see Stephen King back on Australian soil. Welcome home.
Thanks, Alf. Yeah, it's great to be back.
And, well, you've started it off brilliantly.
Okay, Alf and the Kiwis represented by Damasceno, an impressive last start winner coming back from the Oaks.
Racing now. Moondragon jumped reasonably only. She's going to settle back, and Elegant Fashion is worse than midfield as they jump away. Haste Your Back landed narrowly in front, but she's being headed now by Woodweiner, who began fast on the outside, and Gold Lottie scooted across to second. They're followed neck in front to Lady Mulroy. Woodweiner is third, Gold Lottie is fourth, Damasceno fifth and wide. In behind them is Haste Your Back as they came to the corner, and then came Carla Keys, well placed, followed by Elegant Fashion, who's trying to work into the clear as they come around the turn. Bridal Hill with a run on the outside, and then came Born Priceless as they cornered from Blackrock College. Moondragon has most of the field in front of her down near the inside. She's one of the last into the straight, and Periphery is pulled to the outside. It's Lilo Lil inside the 400, the leader from on the outside. Gold Lottie sprinting quickly, and then Woodweiner. Haste Your Back disappointed for a run on the fence. Elegant Fashion comes with a run. Bridal Hill is joining in. Moondragon's badly blocked away. It's Elegant Fashion hitting the lead at the 120. Elegant Fashion from Bridal Hill closing the outside. Elegant Fashion's finding plenty though. Grand little filly. Elegant Fashion beat Bridal Hill. Photo third, maybe Gold Lottie ahead of Periphery. And they were trailed closely in the field then by Blackrock College. Tally Thunders made ground, and then Lilo Lil, Woodweiner. Moondragon again found trouble. So did Haste Your Back. Damasceno, the weakening Lady Mulroy. Born Priceless and Carla Keys dropped out to finish last. Elegant Fashion, Scott Seamer. Scott having his first ride on Elegant Fashion, his first ride's win, and Wiley Trick trained by Tony McAvoy. Okay, 1 to go on what's been a wonderful day of racing the last 5.
We have to overlook the run of Moondragon again.
I think Damien was a victim of circumstance on Chong Tong, but he butchered Moondragon. I mean, it might not have won, but it might not have won, but there was no hope the way he rode it there.
Well,
he's jumped from 13.
A lot of room, Richard, all the same.
Well, he's jumped from the outside gate, ended up on the fence, and then just driven it into a traffic jam.
Just watch it. She's in the Sangster colours, with the white cap with the spots on the inside.
But you also know, Rich, that Luck's the fortune. I mean, Elegant Fashion, it was cluttered up. Gold Lottie sprinted quickly, went to the front, rolled in, and allowed Elegant Fashion to get out. Now, if the same sort of situation had come for Damien Oliver back there, you'd have been hailing him as the king. I mean, it's Luck's a fortune, isn't it?
Yeah, but Luck's a fortune, not with that particular filly. It's a filly that needs a bit of room. He knows that. I mean, he rides that many brilliant races. He's got to put in a bluey every now and again. That was it. He's allowed one for the year.
Right.
Well, getting away from that, Elegant Fashion's very, very consistent filly. You know, she just keeps improving. Lovely big filly too, so sky's the limit with her. And Damon, he's been a success at start, hasn't he, Joe?
He is on track to defend his Australian Cup title at Flemington on Monday. But the Perth star won't have it all his own way, with a number of challenges, including Melbourne Cup winner Ethereal out to dethrone the champion.
It's the race trainer Fred Kersley's been waiting for all autumn, as Northerly goes back to Flemington for the first time since winning the Cup last year.
His training this week's pleased me. A couple of more days to go in the countdown, but if he holds where he is, I can't ask for more.
But making things difficult, as seen in the St George Stakes a week ago, Northerly is now the target of rivals, a fact not lost on the trainer.
You know, I realise now that other jockeys will try to find a weakness in Northerly, and, you know, that's always going to be on, of course, and no race at this level is easy.
And one of those
At this stage, about 23 minutes away. Here's the opening call. Northerly, Sent Home, Old Comrade, and the Second Mortgage are the ratings 1, 3, 2 and 5. And we've got Northerly coming up at $1.70, Old Comrade 13, 28 for Sent Home, 18 Rain Gauge, 39 the Second Mortgage, Ethereal $8.80 and Umaline at 95. The two Piper Star 22, Eustonov $7.90, Royal Code 13 and All Australian Cup that haven't been able to prove themselves at the top level over the years. Remember Octagonal, Saintly as a 3-year-old, Intergaze was another one now. He deserved to win an Australian Cup. The Odd Kiwis won it as well, including Viander Cross. And Let's Elope was a magnificent win in 1992 after she'd won the Melbourne Cup the previous year. So I suppose Ethereal is aiming to do what Let's Elope did back in 91, win the Melbourne Cup and then come back and win the Australian Cup. Better Loosen Up picked up the Australian Cup, and we talked about Bone Crusher and Beau Rogue, who won a couple of them, 89 and 90 for Beau Rogue.
Set. One of the three-year-olds in the race, Saintly and Dulcify, the only 3-year-olds to have won this race at weight for age. Now you racing. Beautiful Dispatch, All Courage jumping fast on the inside ahead of Sent Home. Northerly got away well ahead of Umaline, and Piper Star pushing through on the inside. Then Royal Code, Rain Gauge, trailed by Eustonov, Old Comrade well back in the field, and behind it is Ethereal and the Second Mortgage on the inside. All Courage by the 1700, the leader. Northerly striding up into second, placing 3/4 away, followed by Mortgage. 1,000 to go there, halfway home in the Australian Cup. All Courage by 2 lengths to Northerly, a length to Piper Star, a length to Sent Home, 2 to Umaline, followed by Rain Gauge and Royal Code. 2 lengths then 2 over on the inside as Old Comrade from Ethereal, and second last Eustonov coming towards the turn and the Second Mortgage. All Courage is the leader. Northerly 3/4 away, coming for home from Piper Star. Back behind those horses then is Sent Home on the outside, and then a gap to Umaline, Rain Gauge, Royal Code, Ethereal. Well back in the field, still as Old Comrade as they cornered, and then the Second Mortgage and Eustonov into the straight, and All Courage the leader. Northerly's quickly coming out after him inside the 400, clear of Royal Code, running on down the outside now. Rain Gauge coming through on the inside, and Old Comrade with a run from Ethereal. Northerly in front at the 200, the challenges are plenty. Old Comrade swept up and Rain Gauge in the middle. Old Comrade's put his nose in front. Northerly tries to kick back. Old Comrade's a half head in front, and Old Comrade has won it by a head to Northerly. Third placing goes to Rain Gauge, and then Royal Code from Ethereal. They were trailed further back in the field by Sent Home, and then Umaline, Eustonov, the Second Mortgage. All Courage is second last, and Piper Star is last. It's a West Australian Quinella, but an upset for most punters with Old Comrade getting there.
No bumping there. They've all gone to the line with a fair margin between them. So Old Comrade, the winner of the Fruit and Veg at Ascot back in December of last year at Group 1 level, picks up another Group 1 today. 9:22.30 Old Comrade, 1:20 Northerly, 4:10 Rain.
5 minutes, and you really did notice the change on course when a rather strong breeze came in, which created a headwind for most runners down the straight. I thought Northerly, who worked forward, was the sufferer of those changes, and Old Comrade was back in the field, was able to come out and only face the breeze for 300 metres, finished his race off well, take nothing away from Northerly. Ron, should we downgrade this race to Group 2?
No, definitely not, Alf. Worthy winner there, Old Comrade. He's been going well, but Northerly, gee, fights on like a caged lion, doesn't he? He will not give up.
Yeah, certainly does.
How good's Ethereal going? Is she going good enough?
Don't know. Good enough for what?
BMW.
Well, you know, I don't know. Maybe. I think probably. But, you know, it's a tough race up here.
Okay, and by the way, the
Delago Brom on 87, Air of Grace 83, and Milkshake on 80. Now here is the market. Milkshake 520, Pillaging 330, Delago Brom 290, Peace Ruler, Sire's Produce at Flemington.
They're being called in, and Rust is the first to go up into the gates for the sires. Pillaging coming into the stalls next. Racing in the sires, and Pillaging was the first to bound out of the stalls. Rust got away well and is booting through to try and go to the lead. Tom Caruso settling up on the pace in third place, and they're followed wide out by Our Webster. Just behind Rust, and Pillaging is up in third placing as they go by the 800. Next, Our Webster trapped out wide. One further back, Peace Ruler, also three deep. Delago Brom in the centre, Milkshake on the rail. Then Step Ahead being trailed then by Air of Grace wide out, and then Fuji Dancer, and through on the inside of it, Fubu 2. Tom Caruso came round the turn in the size, leading narrowly from Our Webster and Pillaging, handy enough in the green colours, and then Rust. Milkshake trying to get into the clear, got balked for a run. Delago Brom's making some ground. Tom Caruso at the 400 is being tackled by Pillaging, and now Delago Brom is into the clear, 3 lengths away, followed further back by Air of Grace and Step Ahead, but Pillaging shot to the lead at the 200 metre mark, opened up a quick gap of about 2 lengths on Tom Caruso, and then Delago Brom, but Pillaging's racing away past the 100 metre mark, 4 lengths in front. It is going to walk in the size. Pillaging and Patrick Payne, he's right up, very impressive, beating Delago Brom and Tom Caruso. A gap to Step Ahead, followed in then by Fuji Dancer, Rust, a next Air of Grace, a long break to Milkshake, Peace Ruler, and back towards the tail end of the field in the size, Fubu 2 and Our Webster. That's one of the most impressive size wins we've seen for a long time. Number 2, Pillaging, giving Patrick Payne his second straight victory. He won on Spectatorial last year, and want to be keeping him going for sure.
To hear their comments there, Michael was saying you definite chance when you look at the form around him, but for Lee, it's that only a week between the races, the problem.
Yeah, the problem is I think if they could get a flight for the horse to fly him to Sydney from Melbourne, they'd probably run him, but it doesn't look like there's going to be a flight available, which means he'll have to float. That's a 12 to 14 hour float ride. It's probably a bit too much for the horse if you're going to back up in the biggest 2-year-old race of the year a week later. So, you know, he probably missed that. He won with a bit in hand. He really made the rest of the horses look a little bit tired and ordinary, Alf.
Yeah. Difference between the speed and the tempo to balance right up to finish his race off. And he's run 22.23 for the 1400. His last 600 was outstanding, and he really did win with something in hand. And look, going back, if he did, which he won't, to a golden slipper, the tempo is going to be very quick. And again, those sort of horses can be the worst sufferer. Stephen, what did you think of the way that... Do you think this race justifies being a Group 1 race? Well, yeah, that's an interesting question. I really do believe it is a genuine Group 1 race, particularly the winner. And I think you've got to understand also that horses like Delago Brom had little setbacks going into the Blue Diamond, and it's basically... I do believe the winner and Delago Brom are genuine Group 1 horses.
I've got no doubt about that, but I just think after the Blue Diamond, you know, we've got most of the good 2-year-olds being here in Sydney for plenty of Group 1 races, and you know, it just doesn't make sense to me. They're talking about downgrading a race like the TJ Smith or the Castle Mate, all that in Brisbane. I think this is the race that's got a bit of a question mark over it.
It was a worthy Group 1 last year, wasn't it, Ron?
Terrific, wasn't it?
Yeah, when you owned the winner.
Yeah, and you've just lost all press privileges for the Melbourne Cup.
It's a bit worried about the race.
Here's a Quiver, who's drawn a little wide. He'll come into gate 11. Just looking at the records, the last 10 years or so, there hasn't been anything draw outside gate number 6. But still, these records can be broken. Tears Royals moved in. Mr. Murphy's coming up, and Frere Jacques are getting set for Karen McAvoy. Time was exceptional in the winning performance. Panoramic Lad jumped well on the inside, so did Border Time, trying to find the lead in company with Mr. Magoo. Tears Royal settling off them at about 5th placing. Going forward as a Quiver very quickly, and Mr. Murphy's going with him. They're charging through the first 200 here. It's now on the outside. Mr. Murphy striving for the lead ahead of a Quiver in the centre, and Mr. Magoo, the rail, they're really burning early. They've got away about By Rum, Native Jazz, and Burley is last of all, at least 20 lengths from the leader. Mr. Murphy in front of a Quiver. They've both done some work out there. Mr. Casanova third outside Mr. Magoo. A length and a half further back in the field, it's Ruthless Tycoon racing the outside of Border Time, 2 to Tears Royal. He's being trailed by Panoramic Lad, 1.5 to Concha Frere Jacques, Weasel Will, Saboteur, trailed then by Noircia. She's in front of Rum, and then Native Jazz and Burley. They swing for home. Mr. Murphy from a Quiver. Mr. Casanova and Ruthless Tycoon is wider out. Mr. Magoo's going for a run on the inside, which presents when he needs it. Tears Royal comes with his run, and wider out is Conchita coming home, and then came Weasel Will. 250 to go now. Conchita and Tears Royal race up wide out to go to the lead over Ruthless Tycoon and Weasel Will, and next is Rum. Tears Royal broke clear at the 100, out by 2 lengths to Weasel Will giving chase, but it's Tears Royal in front, and Tears Royal by a half length to Weasel Will, photo third. Burley's come home well. Close up is Panoramic Lad. They're in a photo with Conchula. Ruthless Tycoon, Native Jazz made ground, and further back was Mr. Casanova and Rum, followed by Mr. Magoo, and then Saboteur trailed further back then by a Quiver who worked so hard but dropped out. Border Time towards the end with Noircia, Mr. Murphy and Frere.
Smoke, you know, the first ones are the best ones, aren't they?
Yeah, true, they always are.
And I half owned him.
Well, hey, congratulations.
Day of the Golden Slipper Festival with the Magic Night Stakes at Rosehill Gardens. Now, this is a Group 2 for the 2-year-old fillies, and it's going to shed further light on next Saturday's Golden Slipper. Without any further ado, we head to the garden.
Take the slipper. It was Bent Masquet back in 1993. 3 minutes left to invest. Lame in the off 4, the reason for the scratching of number 5, Whiskey on Ice. Now they've left. And they're off, and Sadler still came out hopelessly, and Dawn of Dawns missed the start by a length, and Callaway Gal flew out, so did Fairy Brightia. Stratica going up quickly with Victory Vane, a Majestic Thrill booting along the rails. Fairy Brightia to a clear-cut lead, a length and a half Victory Vane, Callaway Gal wide third, Majestic Thrill on the fence, about 4 to Stratica, then Delolly's hard at it from Kidman. On the fence, Dawn of Dawns over Cirque du Soleil, Farwayers, and 2.5 to Sadler Silk, racing to the corner, and Fairy Brightia, a length and a half on Victory Vane, getting a little bit closer now as they straighten up. 2 to Callaway Gal, followed by Majestic Thrill, and a couple to Stratica. In the stretch at the 300, and Victory Vane swooped upon Fairy Brightia, headed her off. Callaway Gal's under the whip, and then Stratica, followed by Sadler Silk, has run a huge race after blowing the start, but Victory Vane in front. Callaway Gal game, but not getting to Victory Vane, and it's the hat-trick for Victory Vane, the Silver Slipper, Sweet Embrace, and now the Magic Night. Victory Vane beat Callaway Gal and Stratica from Cirque du Soleil, Kidman, Farwayers. Sadler Silk followed home then by Fairy Brightia, who walked the last 250, and the last 3, Dawn of Dawns, Majestic Thrill, and Delolly's. 2:10.
You're travelling when you're doing that, when you're holding back and looking around for them, aren't you?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. She's a good filly, and she's genuine, and she conserves energy. She relaxes. You can go make 2 runs on in a race. I like the third filly here. Yeah. It's an improver, Stratica.
Yeah. It missed the kick, didn't it?
Yeah, she did knuckled over, but later on for her.
Yeah.
The fillies yesterday didn't run quite as quick as the colts.
No, which was surprising because they did it. They went both ends.
And this is the Pango Stakes. Schwarzeer is the top rater, and have a look at the win dividend, $1.10. Emerging Star, 93, Planchet, 87, El Capitan, 80. Markets, Schwarzeer, $1.10. Planchet, $10.
The names are presented by his first city winner. Nothing like her, or nothing like her. Racing and nothing less was slow to begin. The favourite jumped quickly, Schwarzeer, but actually it's El Capitan, the Victorian, leading the way. From the Innisfail train, gelding Strictly Smart, and wide out third is the hot pot Schwarzeer. Going forward now is little Lenny Beasley on Schwarzeer to lead now. Emerging Star is fourth, and then Castle Colt races clear, Schwarzeer, a length and a half now, Strictly Smart, El Capitan on the rail. A length Emerging Star on the inside of Planchet. Second last at the 600 is Architrave, and 4 or 5 lengths to nothing less. Travelling in this order to the corner, and Schwarzeer doing it well. He runs around the Rosehill bend with a break of a length and a half, Strictly Smart, Emerging Star. Along the rails, El Capitan, and then Planchet. At the 300 marker, and Schwarzeer is shaken up by Len Beasley. It's 2 lengths clear now. Planchet Planchet battles on well, followed by on the inside at the head of the others Emerging Star. But Schwarzeer, he's inclined to shift out towards the centre of the track. Here's Planchet coming at him. Beasley shaking up Schwarzeer. Planchet coming at him. Oh boy. This is a tight finish. Schwarzeer has stopped. He's run out to the centre of the track, and Planchet has raced right up on his inside and has made it very thrilling. Oh, for third, what was there? Strictly Smart, Emerging Star, Architrave, Good Gabel. Planchet has got right up on the inside here and has been up there. Aaron Beedman. I'm just having a look at the head-on shot here. Schwarzeer, he started to shift his ground from around about the 170 mark. And Planchet got up on his inside. There wouldn't be much between them when the line has been reached. Believe you, $1.10. No third for Strictly Smart, number 4. The first 4, 2-1.
Schwarzeer, he'd had 5 previous runs. Now, he didn't lead in any of those, did he?
He's never been on the bit in any of his races. That's a little bit of a concern. Well, they went slow yesterday and he jumped better, but he charged. He sort of wanted to over-race, which is not him.
He seemed completely confused to me, Ron. The horse, if he's never led in a race before, isn't it feasible that he just got hopelessly lost?
Well, there's a chance. You see him here down the straight. He looks home.
And then he starts to shift out.
Whether he's racing greenly or he's just had enough here. I'm thinking it's a little bit both, but the other horse has switched on Planchet.
It's often a sign of a horse that's going over the top, a horse that wants to over-race.
Yeah.
They want to get it over and done with.
At every start that he's won, he's done something wrong. He's still a very green horse, Schwarzeer, so whether or not you can put that down to whether he's feeling the pinch or not, I don't know.
All right, let's hear what Len Beasley had to say.
Probably he come out a little bit more than I wanted to, yeah. You don't think he was feeling any problems there?
I don't think so. I think he's just in a not a good mood today.
Yeah, rather concerned there, Lenny Beasley, and just listening to you too, you're a bit the same way there, Ron.
Oh, I'm not concerned. I still think he's got a terrific chance in the slipper, but because that's a different race. They'll go hard and he'll just drop the bit. He won't over-race like he did yesterday. That just wasn't his race. It was running different sections. It was a charge home. It's not his race.
So back in the
$5. Be interesting to see how Bella Spree goes.
Geez, I seen him trial the other day. I've tipped against him every start. I'm thinking about jumping on his back now.
He's right to go, isn't he?
What about the Iddersvale Gallop?
Be the next in Sydney, Rod Quinn, who is with Joe McKinnon. Dinmont up from Melbourne to run in this particular race. He's jockey Rod Quinn, who is with Joe McKinnon.
You're riding Dinmont in the Guineas this afternoon. Is he capable of causing an upset?
He hasn't been down from Melbourne for very long.
Carnegie Express a clear-cut favourite as we join Ian Craig at Rosehill for the Guineas.
Righto, John. Well, we have a... Righto, John. Well, we have a in the Dubai Rosehill Guineas, and a very, very good start. And Dinmont is one of the early leaders, taken on by Like a Gov, and Harp of Tara's right up with the lead today. Then Carnegie Express Athens, followed by Pentastic. A length further away is Don Eduardo from Are You Ready? Another Warrior, wide out the roughy Planchet, and Road to Dance drops out to the rear. They've covered 400 metres, and the New Zealander Like a Gov, taken to the lead by Scott Seamer, has a peep over the right shoulder. The mate being locked up by Pentastic to another Warrior, 3/4 to Don Eduardo the outside, and Oliver starting to ride the Victorian along. Road to Dance is second last, and Are You Ready brings up the rear. 700 out, no change in the order, and the leader Like a Gov from Athens, a length away third, the despised Ruffy Planchet. Dinmont fourth, and then Harp of Tara followed by Pentastic. Carnegie Express is hopelessly locked away. Oliver's got the whip on Don Eduardo, then another Warrior, Road to Dance, and Are You Ready brings up the rear. They're homeward bound, and Like a Gov slips away here. In full flight, the Kiwi Like a Gov, he put to Dinmont. Athens has dropped off. Carnegie Express is into the open now. At a length, the Harp of Tara. Don Eduardo's a long way back, and Pentastic is starting to zoom home. But in the meantime, Carnegie Express raced away. Carnegie Express 2. Pentastic. Don Eduardo's getting home late, but Carnegie Express, he's got a great turn of foot. He's holding Don Eduardo, and Carnegie Express wins the Rosehill Guineas, and in doing so makes it 6 on the trot. Carnegie Express beat Don Eduardo and Pentastic, and then Road to Dance, another Warrior, Harp of Tara, Dinmont. A good margin off Are You Ready? Like a Gov stopped to a walk. So did Athens, and Absolute, the rank outsider, Planchet. I had the pleasure of advertising the horse on Racing Radio 2KY as a rising 2-year-old, and it gives me a great deal of pleasure to see a horse like this going around the racetracks in such elite company and in such...
Express just continues to impress.
And I think he'll impress. The further he goes, the more he will impress. I mean, he's out of a Starway mare, out of a Noble Bijou mare, out of a Lee Faloo mare. He's got the best staying credentials of any horse in that race.
But gee, he's got an explosive turn of foot when he lets down.
Well, when you combine the turn of foot with a great pedigree like he's got staying, you've got a pretty useful horse. Like, he could be a real top cups horse.
Did you honestly think?
Yeah, he sure has.
Another Group 1 winner, the horse
Last and first at this stage, Don Eduardo. He's Fantastic had come out underneath him and sort of carted him off the track, and he'd lost 3 lengths on Fantastic at that stage. And at that stage, Carnegie Express had got the split and dashed to the front, full of running, and you know, I just thought that Don Eduardo did a good job to work home from here. He's still trying to lay all over the horse on his inside, who was Road to Dance, and you know, he's just a goose. He just hasn't figured it out yet.
Penny hasn't dropped.
No.
Is it all about concentration?
Well, Damien got off the horse in the mounting yard and said, I'm sure this horse is a better horse than the winner. I'm absolutely certain of it, he said, but he won't beat the winner until he starts concentrating. Yeah. And he will improve a lot. It was his first time the Sydney way. So he will improve
quick. He will improve quick because the Derby's in a couple of weeks' time, and
it might be next year.
I'm sure that'll stand him in good stead. That first one round this way, the big Randwick Straight. But if he doesn't travel, Carnegie will put a few lengths on him. He'll be hard to run down.
He couldn't have been more impressive yesterday, Carnegie Express.
Racing, we're getting close to a start now in the Darley George Ryder. It's a minute away. You'll hear an audio description only by Ian Craig. Shogun Lodge $1.90, Crawl $6.80. Lord Essex $6.50 and Nanny Maroon at $7.40. They're the ones under double figures. Look at the win pool, 540,000. A field of 8, an odds-on favourite, and they can't even see the...
Good. They're off in the Darley, and immediately the New Zealander, No Mean City back to last with Crawl, and Lord Essex goes to the lead from El Marada. In third position is A Mission, followed by Final Fantasy. No Mean City is making up ground, followed by Shogun Lodge on the outside of Nanny Maroon, and Crawl another length and a half away. They race inside heading along past the 850, and Lord Essex under restraint. 3/4 of a length on A Mission, and a length and a half to No Mean City, pulling his head off. On his outside is El Marada, 2.5 to Final Fantasy. Nanny Maroon is locked away. Shogun Lodge second last, and on his inside 3/4 back. Crawl, still no variation, working along to the 600 marker, and Lord Essex quickens up fractionally, a length the break on A Mission. Third, No Mean City, followed by El Marada, Nanny Maroon, and then comes on the outside Final Fantasy, and Shogun Lodge is making his run now. They turn and head down past the 350. Lord Essex in front, A Mission second, and now Shogun Lodge, and what a turn of foot. He's got the chestnut. He's after Lord Essex. Down to the 150. Lord Essex almost joined by Shogun Lodge. A race in 2. Lord Essex won't give in. Shogun Lodge driving at him. Lord Essex just the leader. Lord Essex, I reckon. Nostril Shogun Lodge in a very tight finish. Third on the outside, Crawl. And then El Marada in company with on the inside, No Mean City, Nanny Maroon, A Mission at Absolute, Final Fantasy. Terrifically fourth, and that was El Marada. Lord Essex, a very photogenic horse. He lost the Newmarket Handicap at Newcastle last Wednesday week by an eyelash, but today Rodney Quinn was able to control in front. He just rated him beautifully. He quickened up the temps close as he did. Shogun Lodge has done an enormous job considering the sectional times for the latter part of the race.
Controlled the race. Where Shogun Lodge, he's got that 400-metre sprint. Like, he looms up here, up to his old tricks, ducked in, and he fights back.
Given that there was no speed in the race yesterday, they elected to run him in the big Group 1 over an easier race leading up to the Doncaster.
Well, it certainly paid dividends because he's been threatening to win a big race, and he has. The unfortunate story out of the race, I think he pulled up lame, so he'll need a vet certificate to run in the Doncaster. So I don't know how lame he was after the race, but we'll read more into that in the following week, I'd suggest.
On that back.
And Defire and Banker Under Fire had the ratings over Fuadi and Knickerbocker Kid. 3:12, 2 and 6. Hires at 6:10, Fuadi 11, 2:30 Defire. And Defire the favourite. Once again, let's join Ian Craig.
Has gone through. And we're moving into the last, and Defier is the popular pick. $2.50, $1.30 in front of number 1 Higher, 5, 10 and 2.30. And the 300, and they're off and racing this time, and actually Impregnable bounced out in front. Old Darahim got out well, and likewise Crop, followed by Banker Under Fire, then the man a trifle wide. Chief is last of all, down by the 600 in the last at Rosehill, and the leader is Impregnable. Crop second, the man third, fourth Fawadi, wider next is Xantra, and then Banker Under Fire, Salgado, Velsantas and Defier scraping the aluminium around the corner. 400 out now, and Impregnable is the leader from Fawadi. Banker Under Fire. Now Defier, he is hopelessly blocked away. Now he is eased off the fence. There's room for him, but in the meantime Fawadi in front. Here's Velsantas and Salgado, followed by Higher Late. It's Salgado, and here's Defier warming up now. Look at him go, Defier. Ah, terrific win. Defier from Salgado, nothing between Higher and Velsantas for third. And then Knickerbocker Kid, Fawadi caved in. From Galliano, the man Impregnable weakened. And then Xantra, yes, Chief, Banker Under Fire, Darahim, and Crop finished last. Well, there is a real Doncaster horse. Number 3, Defier, Damien Oliver. He hasn't had a lot of good fortune here on Guineas Day, D. Oliver, but course-wise by Final Fantasy. The winner, number 3, 250 and 140. Number 8, Salgado, 320. Paid 210.
Went in the end there by Defier. Yeah, it was outstanding. He was bailed up there after we straightened. But when I unleashed him, geez, he flew. You know, like he would have ran his last furlong something like 10, I reckon. It was outstanding.
Nice Doncaster trial.
Yeah, Chrissy Munt's a very lucky fella. He can ride 50 kilos, and he'd be a wonderful chance in the Donny.
Now, that was a listed race. There were some pretty handy horses around him. He lost all momentum, 150 metres out. He was going backwards when the leaders were kicking. Then he's had to come sideways like a soldier crab. He's not entitled to win.
No way. Terrific performance. Look at him here. Oh, and the horses behind him have got the fly on him. Velsantas even higher gets past him here. Salgado.
And then he just goes whooshka.
And as I think Damien said after the race, he broke the sound barrier the last 100 metres. Terrific performance. He's a live Doncaster chance.
Will he get a penalty?
Well, he'll have to if he wants to get a run.
Exactly. He'll hope he gets a penalty for that, because he gets him a bit further up the weights. Because he's an older horse, he's disadvantaged by having a low weight, so he needs more of a weight. A, it helps him get a run, and B, it helps him get a decent rider who can ride at that weight. You know, not a lot of riders can ride at those low weights.
Chris Muntz has been booked for the horse.
Has he?
But I'd say Mark Webber will give this horse a kilo, because he deserves to be in the field, and he won't get in the field with 50 kilos.